Where's Angeli?
Nilive ko ulit. Wait lang. Hindi ba ito flashback, mag-sound,
Baka mamaya naririnig tayo dun sa ha?
naririnig, nag-e-echo siya. Nag-e-echo siya. Ang hirap nito.
I-mute mo yun sa StreamYard, B.
Hello?
Gags, rinig nga tayo sa live. Sabi ni Pads.
Mahirap e-echo.
Play na. Oh. Okay.
All right, good afternoon and welcome again, everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's episode of our webinar series. It's been 2 weeks since our first episode, yung design concept and thesis making 101, if you still remember. And if you guys are new here and haven't watched it yet, feel free to check it out from our past videos. So once again, welcome back to PLM Architecture YouTube channel. Yan for our audience who are with us since day one. And comment down your school and year because we will have a shout out spree later. We hope you guys are doing well in school, academically, physically, mentally, given this never-ending pile of deadlines coming through. Yan, comment lang po tayo sa ating comment section. Hello po sa inyo!
Right. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of students from other universities na nandito kasama natin today. And of course, our very own students from PLM. Welcome and thank you for lending your time to be here. Well, it has been a tough time for us ever since these unforeseen disruptions occurred. But the College of Architecture and Urban Planning, through this online webinar series, wants to be of real support in building a mentally healthy student community that correlates with empowering good governance and effective team play for us. So make sure to listen, get your notes ready, and stick with us because we have a lot in store for you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Angie Mercado.
And I am Angeli Pastrano. Welcome to Arkitekturo, an online lecture series to help you get back on track and adjust with our new learning environment, presented by the College of Architecture and Urban Planning Student Council.
Ayan. Before anything else, you can tweet us using the hashtag Arkitekturo_F2 and we will read some of them later. But of course, let us start this episode strong. Umpisahan natin sa isang mini contest. Okay? So ready na po ba? Ready na po ba lahat ng audience natin?
Yes.
So ayan. So for our mini contest, it is called our Instagram story. All you have to do is watch the whole webinar episode and create the most creative Instagram story that you can. And of course, do not forget to tag and follow us for your entries to be counted. Ayan, so nakikita nyo po sa inyong mga screen yung hashtag na gagamitin and of course, yung account na kailangan nyong itag. Again, hashtag Arkitekturo_episode 2 at @KaopSC official. We will canvas each of your entries and 3 lucky winners ang aming pipilian for the winners later na makakatanggap ng surprise. Ayan. Ano kaya yung surprise na yun, Angelino?
Nako, abangan nila yan at the end of this webinar.
Yan.
Ayan,
And
so
of course, we would like to thank our sponsors for today's episode. Huge thanks to Boujee Shop Manila and Sweet Hangover.
Ayan. So, excited na kami talagang makita ang mga creative Instagram stories nyo. Pwede gumagawa kayo ng plates habang nanonood ng webinar na to. Kahit ano, basta make it creative. Ayan. So, ready na kayo? Before we get started, if you guys have any questions or concerns during the presentation, please type them in the comment box right here. Yan, so nakita nyo po. Or you can save them up for later after the discussion. Take note, please keep your comments professional and relevant to the webinar. Alright, let's get it. Without further ado, we will turn the time over to our first speaker. She is a consultant, trainer, and a life coach for more than 20 years. She became one of the trainers of the Department of Science and Technology's CloudTop, an e-learning project in 2013, which aimed to provide the Philippine public elementary schools with solar-powered computer laboratories equipped with Wi-Fi, a student-teacher platform called LMS, and computer literacy programs for teachers. She has facilitated behavioral and skills training in numerous companies and organizations like Honda Philippines Incorporated, Volvo, Queen Margaret Hotel, Coca-Cola Company, and a lot more. Currently, she is a part of the training and team building team of OrgDev International Business and Training Consultants Incorporated, the human resource consultant of Marad Rubber and Marketing Corporation, one of the authors of Vibal, and she is also a college instructor at Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. Ladies and gentlemen, to discuss mental health, understanding and managing stress pressure during COVID-19 pandemic, please welcome Coach Lot Lumawi.
Yay! Hi!
Hi
Good
Coach, good
afternoon po, Coach
afternoon.
Lot.
Hello! Parang hindi ko kayo naging student, no? Hindi.
Hindi po.
Ay, sayang.
Apo.
Your other, I think Trisha would know that it's fun though in my class. I know it's fun. Well, anyway, sige. Do I already have the share power of screen? Can I share it now?
Yes po.
By the way, do you have any question for me, just in case before I start, or you want me to start now?
You can start now po and then we'll answer some questions later from the audience.
Alright. Share ko lang muna yung aking. Bakit parang ayaw niya? Wait. Kulang ha. Can you tell me if nakikita ba yung screen ko? Hindi. The MCs,
Not yet pa po. Do you want us to share your PowerPoint instead?
nakikita ba?
Wala pa po at the moment.
Wala pa. Share. Alright, I think you already have, siguro sa inyo na lang yung sharing. Is that okay? I already sent out the
Sure
slides
po.
anyway,
We
yes.
will flash your PowerPoint na lang.
Yeah, alright. That would be good. Alright, so let's start off with, this is actually the stress management that I have been conducting since we started with this lockdown on this pandemic. So we actually call it the stress management, the quarantine edition. Right, next slide please. Alright, so our mini talk today, we will be aiming to answer the following questions, like how stress begins and how it affects us, how do we deal with stress and anxiety, and how do we adjust to the changes. And next. So, paano ba nagsisimula talaga ang stress? Some people kasi would say, like, in the morning daw, nahagal sila, stressful na, no? Apparently, hindi naman talagang gano'n ang stress, no? What do I mean by that? When you wake up in the morning, you don't call it stress, no? You call it simply pressure. Pressure is something, it's a force that pushes you to make a move, to move from one place to another. So, pero kapag halimbawa nagising ka ng late and there are so many things that you needed to do, then nagkakaroon ka ng next, we call it overthinking. Alright? So, pressure plus overthinking, ang resulta nun would be stress. Alright. So, next one. Click. Ayan. Alright. So, pressure plus stress, ang meaning yun, pressure plus overthinking, that's stress. So, is it bad, no, na mag-overthink ka? Not really, because when you overthink, it means you are actually preparing for something that might happen. So, hindi rin naman siya talagang masama. And once you're stressed, no, the body releases the so-called cortisol or the so-called stress hormone. And what does it do to the body? Next. Click po. Ayan, alright. So what does the positive effects of cortisol? One, it gives you a quick burst of energy for survival reasons. Kaya nga, di ba, pag bigla ka hinabol ng aso, dati namang mabagal ka bumibilis ang takbo mo kasi you need to survive. Next, it helps to maintain the homeostasis in the body. Meaning, kapag masyadong malamig, kailangan mong gumalaw para uminit yung katawan mo. Para naman hindi ka magkaroon ng hindi ka lamigin, hindi ka mamatay sa lamig. Ganon din naman sa init. So, we need to move para nagkakaroon ng balance yung ating temperature. And the next one is, click po. Ayan, okay. Height and memory functions. Okay. Sa students, alam na alam nyo to. Ito yung tinatawag natin the power of cramming. Okay? So, kaya mas natatandaan ninyo ng matindi. No? Kasi pag mataas ang level ng cortisol mo, mas mataas din ang memory functions. Right? Next. Ayan, there's a burst of increased immunity. So, mas active ang katawan mo, mas malayo ka sa sakit. And the last one is, sige, ayan, lower sensitivity to pain. So, that's the reason why most of the athletes, no, hindi madaling magkasakit o hindi madaling sumakit ang katawan nila. So, for example, when I started doing long distance run at 5 kilometers, yung 5 kilometers na it took me a week, no, so few days bago ako nakakyat ulit ng second floor. Pero when I kept on doing that one, nung tumakbo na ako ng 10 kilometers, after that one, I attended an event pa. Then after that one, I even went to the mall for shopping. And nothing, wala na yung pain unlike before. Okay, so yun ang ginagawa ng cortisol sa katawan natin. And then the next one, kaya lang nga, sabi natin, next slide please. Ayan. Too much cortisol nga lang or too little cortisol, yun yung delikado. Okay, anong unang binibigay niya? Number 1, click please. Okay, unang-una, sobra ang cortisol mo or kulang ang cortisol mo, you will feel fatigue, no? So, kung tuloy-tuloy na stressful ang event mo, pagod ka. Lagi ka rin naman nakahiga, pagod ka rin. Kaya minsan masakit ang katawan mo, no, after lying down in bed for like almost the whole day. And then the next one, you have, weight gain. Okay, kaya kahit mag-exercise kang tuloy-tuloy, okay, tumataba ka pa din kasi sobra-sobra ang cortisol. Kung naman gumagalaw, ganun pa din yan. The next one is, click is, insomnia. Okay, hindi ka na makatulog kahit pagod na pagod ka. Because you have too much or cortisol or too little. Tulog ka naman, feeling mo naman lagi ka nakahiga. Okay, insomnia po ang cause. And the next one is, you have reduce or decrease on sex drive. Next. By the way, no, meron dito nagko-comment. Okay, hindi po ako sir, but ma'am po ako ha. Natawa naman ako doon, the afternoon ako. Isa po akong babae. Okay. Then there's also erectile dysfunction. And sige lang po, i-click lang po na i-click. High blood pressure, weakened immune response. Next one is poor concentration memory. Kaya, halimbawa, ang inyong exam is 1 week. Okay ang memory nyo for cramming for the first few days. Pero habang tumatagal siya, papunta ka na sa papatapos ng linggo, mahina na ang iyong memory at hindi mo na maalala halos lahat. And you get frustrated. Kasi yun ang meaning nun. Okay lang ang cramming sa umpisa. Pag nasobrahan, poor concentration and memory loss na yan. Okay, so kaya nakakalimutan. So okay ang grades nyo sa first few subjects, sa bandang huli iba na. Alright? Pag tulitan naman, okay, meron pang susunod yan na results. Okay, so pakiclick lang po lahat. Ayan, you're irritable na, there's anxiety, or you're having the depressed mood. By the way, when you talk about depressed mood, meaning your mind is actually dun sa past, no, na you're burdened with what happened, with your mistakes, your errors, your low grades, anything that happened in the past, yun yung depressed mood. Ang anxiety naman is yung future, no? Yung anxious ka, what will happen next, this might happen, and so on and so forth. So yun yung dalawang. Ang depressed sa past, ang anxiety is sa future, para mas madali lang natin maintindihan. Then there's also bone and muscle loss. So mas mahina ang katawan ninyo. Plus, there is the sugar and salt craving. So just imagine, nag-weight gain ka na, kahit humiga ka maghapon, after that one, maghahanap ka na ng matamis o maalat. That means, masyado nang mababa ang cortisol level ng katawan. This is also not good. Alright, next slide please. Yan, okay. That's the reason why you need to rest. Okay, the body's function return to normal kasi kapag tuloy-tuloy na activated ang iyong stress hormone, ang resulta nun ay chronic stress. May mga taong nauospital dahil sa chronic stress. Yun yung iingatan nyo. So, once you are already tired, you already had too much of something, take a break, rest. Okay? So, huwag kayong matakot matulog. Okay lang matulog. Okay, tuturuan ko kayo mamaya. Okay? Next. Tuturuan ko kayo ng tips on how to study. Okay, next please. Yan. So, what do we worry about? Ano ba talaga yung kinaka-worry natin most of the time? One, you have things that never happen at 45%. Things beyond your control, that's 30%. Unnecessary worry about health, that's 12%. Trivial matters, 10%. Ito yung trivial matters, ano ba yan? Yung mga bagay na hindi mo naman ikakabuti, hindi mo rin ikakasama, wala lang, naitanong lang. Okay, pero halimbawa, sino yung lumabas sa ganitong pelikula, anong title ng ganitong movie, and so on and so forth. No? So those are the trivial matters that really doesn't matter, pero hindi ka makatulog, hindi ka mapalagan, hindi mo nasasagot. Okay, all in all, that's actually 97%. So, minus 1, we only have, okay, 3% lang ang representation talaga ng iyong problema. Okay? So, the rest of the 97%, yan yung mga bagay na hindi mo naman dapat talaga pinatutuunan ng pansin. Okay? Next slide. There you go. Siguro some of you, no, I'm not so sure kung matatandaan nyo, but this was already discussed sa UTS, understanding this. Reviewin lang natin ng konti. We call it the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, mapapansin niyo, di ba, during the first week of the pandemic, everybody is criticizing everybody or someone else. What do I mean by that? Sabi, 1 week, wag daw lalabas ng bahay, di ba? Pero all of a sudden, some people started going up on the third day pa lang. And some people would critic them like, wala ba silang ipon? Bakit lumalabas sila? Ang tigas ng ulo nila, no? Ang nakalimutan natin is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Before kasi the pandemic, lahat po tayo ay nasa iba't ibang level na ng hierarchy. So, meron nasa physiological pa lang, iba nasa safety, iba nasa love and belonging na, yung iba naman nasa esteem, and some are even on the self-actualization. So, nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, some of us, some people are already confident to stay inside the house because they have everything. They forgot that other people are still filling up the physiological needs. Thus, they don't have anything at home. No? Wala silang savings pa, wala pa. So, yun yun. Pero habang tumatagal ang pandemic, have you noticed sa Facebook, diba, sa social media, wala na masyadong ganung critic na matigas ang ulo. No? Bakit? Kasi halos lahat tayo, no, medyo nag-level off na tayo. Lahat tayo is already looking for, nandito na tayo sa filling up again the basics. The physiological needs and the safety needs. So, dito nagkaroon na tayo ng unawaan. Ito yung sinasabi ko rin that whenever you deal with people, you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of this. By that way, you would understand people better. And I know, arkitekto kayo in the future, kaya magandang gamitin ito in presenting something sa clients ninyo. No? So, hindi ka naman magpe-present sa taong gutom. So, kailangan yung physiological needs niya and nasagot, and so on and so forth. So that's additional tip for you guys. Alright, next slide please. Okay, another one, alright, that I want you all to remember. The so-called teen brain, alright? Napansin niyo siguro no, sa sarili ninyo, even when you were younger, even now, no? I guess none of you is actually 25 years old. Most of you are even below 20, alright? Even below 21 yata, no? So, teen brain, meaning, ito yung sinasabi natin, but teenagers, you are occasionally behave in an impulsive way, irrational, dangerous, medyo risky, di ba? So, hindi naiisip what would be the possible consequences. Yan ang tinatawag natin teen brain. Okay, next, please. Click po. Yan, huwag ka maya. Yan, click na. Okay. Seems like they don't think things through or fully consider the consequences of their actions. Because, sige, next slide. Pasok. Sige lang, huwag ka maya. Yan, okay. Kung titignan ninyo ang brain development from 5 years old to 20 years old based on this slides, no? Iba yung kulay. Kapag nandun siya sa red and yellow, yan yung less mature. Doon sa blue and purple, yan naman yung more mature. So makikita ninyo at the age of 20 years old, di ba? Meron pa rin siya nung red and yellow. So ibig sabihin, at your age right now, hindi pa fully develop ang brain mo. Okay, sorry. So, ibig sabihin, tuloy-tuloy siya nagbaba. I'm showing you this one. Next slide, please. Okay. Ano yung develop talaga? Okay, you call it the amygdala. The amygdala, it plays a key role in processing your emotions. That's the reason why when you were young, when we are all babies, we keep on crying. Kasi nandito yung immediate reaction for fear and aggressive behavior. Kaya nga, madali kang magalit, madali kang umiyak. Okay? Because yung amygdala, yun yung kanyang talagang component. No? So lahat tayo possible. Kaya lagi ko sinasabi, and my students, I know you know this, diba? I keep on telling you guys, kahit lalaki ka, sabi nila, boys don't cry. For me, guys should cry because why? Lahat tayo ay may amygdala. And kasama doon ang pag-iyak at galit, no? Yung nararamdaman natin. Kasi for survival reason yan. And the last one to be develop is, next slide please, you call it the frontal lobe. Sige, click po. Yan, the frontal lobe, ito naman ay, it controls important cognitive skills such as emotional expression, problem solving, memory, language, judgment, and sexual behaviors. Ito yung nagko-control sa atin, sa ating reasoning skills. Ito yung nagsasabi na mag-isip bago mo gawin. Dumarating yan at the age of 25. So, kung ang ginagawa ninyo ngayon ay mga bagay na hindi nyo masyadong nauunawaan, be kind to yourself if you're below 25 years old. Don't push it too hard. Don't be matured that hard. No? Just be kind to yourselves. Hindi mo pwedeng mapilit maunawaan ng lahat because your brains are still growing. Alright? So, relax lang. Take each day as it comes. Yun yung dahilan kung bakit meron teachers, you have your parents with you to guide you through your studies, and that's the reason why I keep on telling my students to come up or to have a mentor with you also. Okay? Importante yan kasi nga, hindi pa lahat ng bagay ay maiintindihan mo. In the future, once you reach your 25th year, balikan nyo lahat ng inyong naging decision when you were below 25, pagtatawanan nyo na lang yan. Promise. Alright, next slide please. And if we're going to show this one, tada, next slide. Ayan, okay. So click po, yung unang dalawa. Unang click, dalawa ka. For prefrontal cortex, there you go. Okay, nabubuo yan at the age of 25. So again, relax, no? Kung hindi nyo napapagtugma ang reasoning, okay lang yan, relax. Hindi pa talaga kayo capable. So, just be gentle. The amygdala, ito yung pag-iyak. Ngayon, yung ating parietal lobe, please click. Okay. Nabubuo naman yan at the age of 20. Ito yung sinasabing nagpo-process yung responsible for touch, sight, language, alright? Sa ventral striatum naman, ito naman yung reward center. Kaya minsan, hindi nyo pa na-appreciate ano ba yung reward. Parang, wala naman, kaya ko naman kung hindi yan. So, yung effect na sa atin, sa inyo emotionally, hindi pa masyado ramdam. Again, because hindi pa siya talagang fully develop ang inyong brain. Kasama yan. Pero sasabihin nyo sa akin, bakit kailangan kong pumasok sa school? Because yung age nyo naman ngayon, yaan nyo tremendous ang learning curve. Okay? So, makikita nyo rin sa growth ng hippocampus. Okay? So, yun yung dala nyo. Why you need to go to school for you to study the theories, to get into your system. By the time na mo 25 kayo, darating na si reasoning yung pinag-aralan nyo before. Finally, maiintindihan nyo when you reach your mid-20s. Okay, so again, don't push it too hard. Just keep on getting all the information that you get, because when you reach the 25th year of your lives, you would finally understand them all. Alright, next. Click, sweetheart. Click mo yan. Ayan, nawala na. Ayan, okay. Again, you are still teens until you reach the 25th year, no? Children are children, teens are teens, no? Sabi niya natin, you are not young adults. That's the reason why I keep on telling parents, do not call them young adults. They are teens, they are children. Okay? And kayo din, do not act like adults. Mas mahihirapan kayo because the more you do that one, the higher the expectations would be, and your brain is still not capable to cope up with those expectations. Again, take it slow. No? Take it slow. Be gentle to yourselves. Next slide, please. Ayan, nahiya na siya. Ayun, na-click. Ayan, alright. So, with regard to that one, huwag kayong masyadong don't push it too hard. Just focus your attention on the things that you can control, such as your thoughts, words, actions, behavior, and feelings. And what are the things that you cannot control? Yung ganun din, pero sa ibang tao. No? So, mag-focus ka lang sa'yo kasi yun lang ang pwede yung control. Next slide, please. Ayan, okay. So, if the things did not work out as you planned, alright, lalo pa ngayon na nangyayari, di ba? Halimbawa, plano mo mag-research, nagbagal ang internet connection mo. Magagalit ka ba? Might as well do something else in replacement of that. Kasi hindi mo control ang internet connection, tama ba? Oh? So, why not? Di ba? So, mabagal pa tong oras na to, do something else. Okay? So, matuto kang aralin din. Ano ba yung kabilisan ng aking internet connection? Doon ako mag-research. Pag mabagal, doon ko gagawin ng ibang bagay. So, if things did not work out as you planned, just simply let it go. And next slide, please. Okay. Do not, again, as I say, do not end up like this monkey. There you go. There's the monkey. Ano yan? Ganito kasing mag-trap ng monkey before, no? So, isang coconut shell, no, maglalagay ng butas doon, tapos may ambulance. Okay. Siguro naman, common na sa atin na makarinig ang ambulansya. So, ito yung coconut shell, may butas na maliit yan, just enough for the hand of the monkey to get inside, tapos merong food sa loob. So, ang gagawin yung monkey, hahawakan niya yun, tapos, syempre, since naka-fist-like na siya, hindi na yan makakalabas, di ba? So, ano mangyayari? Mahuhuli na nila yung monkey. So, ganun kasimple manghuli ng unggoy. So, what do I mean by that? Let's not end up like that monkey or like the monkeys. What do I mean? When we hold to something, galit, inis, any negative emotions, it gives you, it traps you further. So, for me, kung hindi na nangyari, tapos na yon, sabi na, kawala na, bitawan na, then makakaalis ka dun sa iyong kinalangan. Yan, hindi maganda. So, just simply, next slide please, let go. Because once you let go, yan, okay, click. Okay, because once you let go, you have the opportunity to regain control of your attention. You put things in perspective, and then you let go of negative emotion. Okay, next slide. Ayan. Okay. So, learn to adjust. Ito yung mga apat na bagay na ituturo ko sa inyo. Accept, acknowledge, accept, act, and award. So, kung hindi mo maalala ito, pareho ito ng mga hugot ng mahiwalayan. Acknowledge mo muna, hiniwalayan ka. Okay? Then, accept mo, hiniwalayan ka nga. Then, you do something to make everything happier once again for you. At kapag nalagpasan mo ang broken-hearted feeling, award mo yung sarili. Diba? Pwede rin naman yan sa pagtanggap ng bisita. May kumatok, diba? Na-acknowledge mo, may tao sa pinto. So, accept mo sila, pasok kayo, then you act. What is act? Gawin mo, kung may hiningi sa'yo, ibigay mo. Kung may itinatanong, sagutin mo. Kapag nakaalis na yung bisita mo, award mo na yung sarili mo na, oh, I was such a good host for today. Okay, so mas madaling matandaan. Next slide, please. So, puntahan natin ang unang-una. We call it this one, they acknowledge. No? Nakikita nyo lang sa akin picture, it's okay not to be okay as long as you're not giving up. No? If you don't feel good day, and that is actually normal, that is fine, that is okay. Kung hindi pa rin maganda feeling mo the following, okay pa din yan, basta wag kang bibitaw, okay? Walang bibitaw, do not give up, be hopeful that siguro baka bukas okay na ako, or the next day magiging okay din ako. Hanggang ganun ang feeling mo, you're still okay. Next slide, please. There. Okay. Acknowledge mo, dalawang bagay ang posible ninyong nararamdaman ngayong pandemic. Either the cabin fever or anxiety. Ang cabin fever, okay, hindi naman siya psychological illness. We call this more of a phenomenon, no? Ito yung nagbibigay sa'yo ng feeling na bored ka, irritable, you're restless, you're impatient, there's anxiety, there's lack of motivation, you're so lonely, you're hopeless, and there is sometimes the depressive feeling or depression. Pero hindi ito yung clinically diagnosed na depression, ha? Okay. Or it may be an anxiety. And the symptoms of anxiety is, next slide please. Next. Yan. Anxiety might look like, ito naman ang symptoms para malaman nyo, no, kung kayo may anxiety. Click, sweetheart. Una, meron kang, yan, there's irritability, there's obsessive behavior. Ano yung obsessive behavior? Ito yung paulit-ulit mong pinanunood yung isang pelikula kahit alam mo na. Okay? Halos memoryado mo siya lang na siya. Because pag tinanong ka, I feel comfortable, I feel at ease, no? So, ibig sabihin, dinadaan mo na lang sa obsessive behavior yung anxiety na nararamdaman mo. Anxiety is more than just being worried, okay? Pag worry ka, okay lang yan eh. Being overwhelmed, dinagdagan mo pa yan, yun yung anxiety, no? There's overscheduling or overworking, ayaw mo matulog, ayaw mo magpahinga. Lahat ng bagay kinukuha mo. There's also overindulgence, wherein lahat na makita mong available na pagkain online, binibilhan mo na siya. There is dizziness or numbness. That's the reason why some people who are actually undergoing anxiety attacks, some of them, nagkakat sila, no? Yung naghihiwa, that is not actually suicide because they're already feeling numb, no? Na wala ka nang maramdaman. Minsan din, nahihilo ka na. Okay? Kaya minsan, ihihiga mo nila siya maghapon. There's also extremes. Either you're sleeping in, like kang inaantok, antokin ka, or kulang ka naman sa tulog, or hindi ka makatulog. Okay? So, dulo-dulo siya. Sobra, or halos walang tulog. There's also lack of concentration. Like, you have been reading a certain page in the book, no? Paulit-ulit siya. Ilang oras hindi ka makaalis. That means you already lack concentration. And then the avoidance. Avoidance is you don't want to do the things that you love doing before. Right? So if you have several of these, like half of the symptoms, okay, you already have that one, then I guess you are already having an anxiety. So kapag ganun yun, you have to reach out for people to help you. But I will also give you some tips today. Alright, next slide please. Okay, next slide. Okay. Number 2, diba? Sabi na acknowledge. So, naisip mo na, ay, cabin fever to. Okay. Or, meron akong anxiety. Okay. Ang susunod mong gagawin, tanggapin mo, pinagdadaanan mo siya. Okay. Paano yun? Kasi pag hindi mo siya tinanggap, okay, hindi ka magiging mindful dun sa iyong ginagawa. Okay? Ibig sabihin, lumilipad ang isip mo. So, you need to accept it para maging mindful ka ulit. Meaning, your mind is at present. Remember, I told you a while ago, depressive is in the past, anxiety is in the future. The answer there is you have to be in the present. Okay? Yun yung being mindful. Okay? Next. Click. Yan. So, but be very careful of toxic positivism. Toxic positivity is this one, no? Yung sinasabi sa'yo, ay, makakaraos din yan. Maging positive ka lang, masyado ka kasi nega, huwag ka masyadong nega, basta lagi lang positive. That's toxic positivity. Masama po yan sa ating kalusugang pangkaisipan, no? Ang kailangan sa atin is validation and hope. Meaning, I know this is hard, everybody's going through the same thing, nahihirapan tayong lahat, pero alam ko, bukas makalawa, makakaraos din tayo. Yan ang validation and hope. If you're not feeling good today, that's okay. Sige, ipahinga mo muna. Bukas makalawa, malay mo, okay ka na. That's validation and hope. So, just simply acknowledge and are not feeling good, then that's okay. Just don't lose hope, alright? Next. Next slide. Click. Ayan, okay. So sabi niya natin, no, we have to break the stigma. Sabi kasi kapag humingi ka ng tulong sa mga psychologists, okay, may sira daw ang ulo mo, kailangan mo na raw uminom ng gamot, and so on. Sometimes we needed to talk to psychologists and mental health professionals, no, just to help us, no, ayusin yung ating train of thoughts. Remember, I told you, your mind, your brain is still not fully developed when you're not 25 years old yet. So that's the reason why most of you have this, a certain kind of confusion na bakit ito ganito. Yung, tapos minsan, alam ko nararamdaman ito. Alam yung sabay-sabay, no? Sometimes, pag nagkakagana na, you'll find somebody older than 25 years old to help you process those things inside your mind, right? Para hindi kayo nahihirapan. Okay? So, sabi natin, break the stigma. Mental health is real, no? Sabi niya natin, kailangan mong pangalagaan ang iyong kaisipan din. Okay, next po. Next slide. There. Okay. Things that help anxiety. 1. Ayan. So, pag naramdaman mo ng may anxiety ka na, okay, 1, you can phone a friend. Next, you can do deep breathing. No? Ito, tuturo ko ito mamaya. Hold on to someone. Kung may kasama kayo sa bahay, hawak lang yung mag-lean ka. Basta maramdaman mo sila, no? You can go for a walk. Pero kung hindi ka pwedeng lumabas because of the pandemic, takot ka. Kahit within yung around the house nyo, kung pwede rin naman yan. Okay, you can have showers, no? You can actually exchange in all 5 senses. I'll teach you that one also. You can do things with your hands. You can listen to calm music. You do something, no? You can do some distractions, like nood ka muna ng cartoons, nood ka ng movie, okay, anything. Makipaglaro ka sa pet mo, like on my case, I have Buster Me, okay, may bago akong fur baby. So, you can also write it down. Kung may nararamdaman ka, mag-journal kayo, that's also good. Drink cold water. That's very, very helpful also. And the last one is, you can even cuddle a weighted blanket. And I'm surprised to know that the weighted blanket, or they call it the anxiety blanket, is actually even being sold online already. So these are blankets na medyo mabigat, no? Unlike the normal blankets that we use. Kasi anything that weights, you may timbang, pag ginanon mo sa'yo, it gives you the feeling of the present, no? Nilalagay ka niya sa present mood mo, or yung today, yung the now na tinatawag natin. Okay, next slide. Ayan. So, for the stress management technique, okay, you need to learn to steady your mind. Alam kung pag marami nang pumasok dyan, sunod-sunod na yan, ang trick po dyan is for you to learn how to steady your mind. So, how do you do that? Next slide. So, you need to pause and breathe. Okay, yan yung mga susunod yan. Minto ka muna, bitawan mo yung ginagawa mo, then huminga ka. Pero paano ba talaga tayo hihinga? Next slide, please. Okay. The proper way to breathe is this way, alright? Kapag inhale, ang tiyan ay malaki. Kapag exhale, ang tiyan ay maliit. Okay? So, mapapansin niyo yan, no? Nag-move yung aking picture. Okay, yan ang tamang paghinga kasi ang hangin ay kailangan pumapasok hanggang diaphragm. Pag prines yung tiyan, dapat palabas yun. Then you inhale through your nose, you exhale through your mouth. Pero kapag ikaw ay mag-meditate, no? Akala kasi na iba, kasi sinabi meditate, kailangan walang laman ng isip mo lang. O mahirap mong gawin yan. Meditation can be, you would focus on the things that is around you, no? And to hear, mag-focus sa tunog sa labas, no? So that's also meditation. Then, yung inyong breathing, magiging 3 steps yan. Hindi lang inhale, exhale. You have the inhale, hold, exhale. So, inhale ka for a few seconds, hold mo for another next few seconds, and then exhale ka ng next few seconds. So, what do I mean? You can pick any number. Yung original kasi niyan is 4, 7, 8, no? 4 seconds inhale, 7 seconds hold. Yung exhale mo is 8 seconds. No? But if you are having trouble remembering the pattern, you can come up with anything. Sabi ko nga sa iba, since panahon naman ng ayuda ngayon, di ba? Panahon ng sardinas. Pwede niyong gawing 5-5-5. kung gusto ninyo. It's easier. So, inhale ka for 5 seconds, hold mo for 5 seconds, exhale mo for 5 seconds. No? Later, no, pag natapos na, try to practice that one pag natapos tong webinar and feel nyo pa paano nagpakaroon ng panibagong feeling sa inyo. I guess some of you now are actually trying it. No? You do that one for, I think, for at least 4 cycles. If you can do more, that would be a lot better. Alright? Then, aside from the proper breathing, we also have, next slide please, you can also do grounding. Okay? Okay, so ano yung grounding? Next slide please. Yan yung sinasabi na you involve your 5 senses. What do I mean by that? Pag overwhelmed ka na, pause, hinga, di ba? Hinga ka ganun. Okay ka na. Then, focus on your 5 senses. Ano ba yung 5 senses mo, di ba? Yung 1, mag-name ka ng 5 bagay na nakikita mo. 5 things that you can see. Okay? 4 things that you can hear. Okay? 3 things that you can feel dun sa paligid mo. Naramdaman ko yung glass ng cellphone ko. Naramdaman ko yung kahoy dahil yung table ko. Okay? And naramdaman ko yung glass sa tabi ko din kasi may coffee akong katabi. Okay, so yun yun. And then 2 things that you can smell, and then 1 thing that you can taste. Meaning you have to drink or eat something after that one. Because it will bring you back, next slide please, it will bring you back to where you are actually. At yun yung sagot kapag overwhelmed ka. Again, overwhelmed feeling is lumilipad na yung iyong isip sa past or sa future because of too much fear or too much guilt naman sa past. So, all of those things that I told you about, it will put you in them now. Okay? Be where you are. That is being mindful. Alright? Next slide. Yeah, must be tired. Tumatakot. Then, okay. Now, okay. So, nakalagay di ba ang cute ng picture nyo? Enjoy life one slice at a time. Okay? Again, sabi niyo natin, huwag nyo na maigat kasi pag nabulunan kayo, mas mahirap yun. So, okay, next slide. Sige, click mo lang. Ayan, okay. So, sa act, I'll give you 5 examples of the things that you can do. 1, you have to have a schedule. Importante sa lahat ng schedule. So, sabihin nyo, ma'am, paano yan? Yung aming schedule, ito yung kailangan online sa ganito, tapos biglang mahina. Ano yung pinag-usapan natin kanina? Kung mahina, hayaan nyo natin. Mag-stay lang kayo online. Kung bumalik, good. Ngayon, yung time na wala namang kayong klase, aralin nyo ulit kung saan maganda yung internet, yun yung ikutin nyo. Doon kayo gumawa ng schedule. Okay? So, sure, dapat yan lahat may schedule. Okay, next. Kasi sabihin nyo naman, ma'am, paano masama pakiramdam ko? Ayoko sundin yung schedule. Hindi wag mo sundan yung schedule today. Okay? And together with you creating your schedules, I'll give you some tips for studying. Now, these are not all, but at least this might help. 1, organize your space. Ayusin nyo. If you would see my place, no? This is actually a part of my bedroom. Okay? This is my mini library and study and office. And then at the same time, you would see my books there. No? And you would even see I have mandalas there. Okay, yan yung mga pinagkaabalahan ko during the pandemic. I also have another sketch. So, i-organize niyo yung isang lugar, no? For your things, no? For your studying. Okay? Then another one, you also study in different locations. Sometimes, I bring my laptop, nag-aaral ako doon sa, because I'm on the latter part of my life. I also study. So, pwede mo dinadala ko minsan ng laptop ko at ibang books. So, nandun naman ako sa dining area, no? Then, every now and then, according to my schedule, merong certain area doon. Okay, may certain schedule ako doon. Kung kailan ako ulit sisilip sa notes ko. Okay. And it's a regular thing, no? Again, kasi nga, di ba, cramming doesn't really work that long. So, kailangan mo keep on revisiting the material para lalo siyang pumapasok sa iyong subconscious. Okay. Next one. At ito yung importante sa lahat. Okay, never, ever, ever study on your bed. In your bed, no? Huwag ka mag-aaral sa kama because of 3 things. 1, it limits the focus. Bakit? Kasi aagawin ng kama yung attention mo between studying and between sleeping. The next one, it decreases the productivity. What do I mean by that? Ang liit kasi ng space mo. Lalo pa kayo architecture students, no? So, marami kayong gamit, kung ilalagay mo lahat sa kama yan, malulukot lang. Hirap gumalaw sa kama. And you know that it's bouncy, no? So, hindi siya ganun ka-steady. And ang pangatlo, it actually hurts or had an effect dun sa iyong sleeping pattern. Because by the time na kailangan mo nang matulog, okay, yung katawan mo o yung iyong utak ay nakondisyon na yung kama mo ay mag-aaral ka pa din. So kahit gusto mo nang matulog, yung utak mo gising. Kasi bakit? Kinondisyon mo siya na the bed is also for studying. No? So you have to honor the bed, that the bed is strictly for sleeping alone. So do not study in the bed, study somewhere else. Then pag bed, automatic, matutulog ka lang. No? So conditioning din yan. Okay, next. Ayan. Take good care of your body. So, meaning, total nasa bahay naman kayo madalas, mag-water therapy kayo. Then you also do exercise, you rest well, you eat healthy, and you need to meditate. Now, in taking good care of your body, I'll give you more tips on this one. Click, click. Ayan, sige, click mo, sweetheart. Pag-usapan natin ng happy hormones. Ayan. The happy hormones, sabi nga nila, diba, ang happiness is only in the mind. No, the happiness is actually in the hormones. And you have 4 hormones. You have dopamine, endorphins, you have oxytocin, and serotonin. I'm sorry. Okay? So, next, please. Okay, dopamine naman. Pag-isahin natin, paano mo siya i-activate? Kailangan mong ma-activate yung iyong happy hormones para ka maging masaya. Okay, dopamine, ito yung reward hormone. So, pleasurable siya. It's about pleasurable sensation along with learning, memory, motor system function. See? So, pag inactivate mo si dopamine, okay, so yung iyong function sa learning mo, mag-a-activate din siya. Nag-i-increase yan paano? Exercise, meditation, massage, sleeping well, and listening to music. So, you can also get it from tyrosine. Yung body mo naman mag-release ng tyrosine yan kapag kumain ka ng almonds, bananas, avocado, eggs, beans, fish, and even chicken. Okay? But of course, yung allergy ka sa almonds or sa iba dito, huwag na yun ang kainin mo. At least may iba namang alternative. The next hormone is, click. Ayan, serotonin. Serotonin naman, ito yung willpower, alright? So, nagre-regulate yan ang iyong mood as well as your sleep, appetite, digestion. Again, there is learning and memory. Okay? So, paano siya mag-i-increase? Pareho nung kanina, meron ka rin exercise. But this time, tsaka massage, but this time, meron siya ng bright light. So, meaning, kailangan po kayo paaraw, ayun, mas maganda sunlight, at least 15 minutes man lang. Okay? So, in the morning. Okay? Huwag yung sa noon, okay, masama na sa balat yan. And, yeah, that's it. Okay, next. Click po. Ayan, we have the oxytocin. Alright? And this is the love hormone. Okay? This is essential for childbirth, breastfeeding, and strong parent-child bonding. Okay? Kaya kung breastfed kayo, usually mas close sa mommy ang mga breastfed na anak. No? It can promote trust, empathy, and bonding relationships. So, paano naman siya nag-increase? Nag-i-increase ang oxytocin natin kapag meron tayong physical affection, like cuddling, have sex, pero syempre, again, pinag-usapan sa UTS yan. If you're going to have sex, be sure that it's a safe one. Okay? There's also yoga, music, you have massage, meditate, or even petting your animals, like dogs and cats. And then, the last one is, click. Ayan, we have the endorphins, ito yung calm hormone. This is the body's natural pain reliever. So, pag mataas ang iyong endorphin, okay, hindi ka sensitive, sensitive na hindi sa pangangailangan ng tao. Yung bang konting mabangga ka, nakasigaw ka agad. Yan, that's the meaning ang endorphins mo masyadong mabangga. So, paano naman nag-i-increase ang endorphins sa katawan mo? Okay, workout. So, in other words, exercise, sex, you have meditation, eating chocolates and chili peppers, having wine, and the last one is what? Laughter. Matuto po kayong tumawa. Meron yata yung tinatawag na laugh therapy wherein you only need to laugh for about 10 minutes. No? Tuloy-tuloy na tawa. Matatawa rin naman kayo. find something to laugh at, no? So, para nag-i-increase yung ating happy hormones, alright? So, those are the 4 things, and those, kapag nag-activate yung mga yan, makakatulong din sa inyong learning and memory. Next slide, please. Ayan. Stay connected with family and friends. Ayan. Okay. We may be physically distant, but always, we can always stay connected naman online. And I appreciate that, no, na kapag nag-interact ang mga former students ko with me sa Facebook. Okay. Thank you very much for doing that one. I appreciate that one. And sabi nga natin, stay connected with your family and friends, but stay away from the toxic ones. Hindi po mag-anak ninyo ay pagtsatsagaan nyo sila sa inyong Facebook list. Okay. Tanggalin nyo yung toxic sa inyo. Karapatan nila. Your wall, your responsibility. Okay, next slide. Ayan. So, be kind to yourself. So, ang ibig sabihin ba niyan ay mag-delete ka ng application, mag-mute ka ng isang group chat, mag-no ka sa ibang commitments mo, mag-cut down ka sa list mo, or limit mo yung consumption ng bad news, or spending less time in toxic environment. You can do all those things, alright? Even if they all involve your relatives and some of your friends, okay? You can do those things, just for you to be mentally healthy, okay? Next. Sige, click. There. Number 4, keep yourself busy. Alam ko, as a architecture student, busy kayo, okay? But the point there is sometimes you get busy. We thought we are busy, pero actually preoccupied ka na lang. Magkaiba yun. Okay? So, being busy ko sa tingin mo, naghahanap ka na lang ng gagawin. Okay? Medyo hindi din healthy. Kaya kailangan meron kang schedule. And then, on your vacant time, either, kung ayaw nyo maging idle, come up with a little hobby, no? Mag-spring cleaning ka. Ito yung pwede ninyong gawin instead na nagagalit kayo waiting for your internet connection to be stronger. Halimbawa, di ba, ang hina talaga. Yung lahat ng gagawin mo, tapos na. And naiinis ka kasi ang dami mong gagawin online, kaya lang walang internet. What will you do? Okay, so do other things. No? Magluto ka muna. Malay mo, after that one, pag kumalma ka na, yung internet connection pumasok. So, ganun lang siya. Laruin nyo lang yan. Okay, huwag na tayo magalit at hindi naman natin kontrolado yung internet. Next. Number 5, ang importante sa lahat ay always be thankful. No? You can even name at least 3 things pwede nyo gawing hobby to. No? Every day, before the day ends, you name 3 things that you should be thankful for. No? Huwag nyo na isama dyan yung waking up, I have a good breakfast. Be very specific. Ano nga ba yung ikinaganda ng maghapon? Ano yung kakaibang ikinaganda ng maghapon? So, always be thankful. No? Kaya nga sa akin, no, like yung sinasabi sa Facebook, we are all should be happy every Sunday. Why? Because that means we made it through another week in this type of panahon, no, na may pandemic. Every Sunday, it should be thankful that we made it through another week. Right? Next. Click. There you go. At the 4th one is, awardan naman ang sarili mo. Halimbawa, nakaraos ang toxic week mo. Okay, Sunday na. Nakamabot ako ng Sunday. So, order something online that you should be thankful. Award mo yourself. Either good cup of coffee, a slice of cake, a cup of ice cream, or anything. No? Gawin mo, i-award mo yun sa sarili mo for doing a good job. Right? Next. Click. There. So, treat yourself. Importante yan sa lahat. Napansin niyo ang cute ng aking mga pictures na those are all from Boujee vlogs. Next. Let's click. Okay. And, okay. I hope this is okay, no? The message of friend is a community that I made, no? So, Facebook, when the pandemic started, so sometime in the mid of April. Alright, so if you guys have this pandemic stress related, yung stress pandemic related na, and you need somebody to talk to, like a life coach, okay, you can join us and message your friend, and there would always be people there that would help you out, okay? So meron kami mga mental health advocates. Now, if you also wanted to offer help or you wanted to share good quotes on mental health, pwede rin naman kayong mag-post doon. No? Walang ka doon sa loob ng page na yan, sa group na yan, sa community. Non-political, wala rin takutan. It's all about good stuff. So, para ma-relax man lang tayo, may maiba man lang tayong makita sa Facebook. So, you can actually join our community messages. Next one. Okay, so, nasabi na natin, napag-usapan na natin yung apat. And this is almost the last few slides. No? So, reminder to every time, always wash your hands. And when we do wash our hands, instead of singing the happy birthday, minsan pwede din naman tayong mag-affirm. Like when you wash your hands, you may say, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be filled with loving kindness. Okay, next slide. Okay. Yan. So always remember, you are not alone. Okay? Nahihirapan din ako. Marami sa atin ang nahihirapan. Hindi ka nag-iisa sa nararamdaman mo. Kaya nga rin ako gumawa ng community to tell everybody that, next slide please, we are all in this together na magkakasama tayo. Next slide. Okay. We are all deeply interconnected. Kaya nga lagi sinasabi, next slide, pasok. Since we are all deeply interconnected, we should take care of each other. And thank you dun sa grupo, no, sa PLM KAUK for doing this as a student council of KAUK. Why? Because this is a way of you taking care of each other. And I really, natuwa ako when I got the invitation. Thank you very much for inviting me. No? So, anytime that you needed my help, you guys, especially for my student, Trisha, you know that you could always count on me. Next slide, please. Ayan. We will all get through this. No? We will all get through this. Hindi ito magtatapos. Hindi ito magtatagal. Magtatapos din ito. Okay, next slide. We will all get through this. Ito na sinasabi. All get through this one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. You don't really need to push it so hard. Alright? Yun lang at maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Thank you. Next slide. Last name.
All right, thank you so much, Coach Lot Lumawi, for a very insightful and heartwarming discussion you have shared with us today. Sobrang nakakabusog po yung naging talk natin today. Ang dami po naming natutunan sa naging topic niyo po. Because in these difficult times, it's really crucial for us na makarinig ng mga ganitong words, especially from a professional like you po. Especially now that some of us are struggling or having bad days, or oftentimes we put too much pressure on ourselves. And at some point, we tend to feel negative emotions we cannot handle. We're having a really hard time adapting and dealing with what's happening, and it feels like we are confined in a cage with lots of outside forces like stress, piled up workloads, and such. Kaya maraming salamat po, Coach, for reminding us na rest is important, stress and pressure is not bad at all. It can help us, it can be a driving force for us to do something. And ayun po, also natutunan po namin na it is important na wag madaliin or matutunan lahat dahil hindi naman po lahat is kaya nating i-control. So, yun po, we don't have to rush talaga. It is really hard po talaga to act as adults kahit ang brain natin ay nasa teenage stage pa lang. And yun po, yung binanggit niyo po na makakatulong po for our self-care, katulad po ng pag-journal and yung breathing exercise po na 4-7-8. 4 seconds inhale, 7 seconds hold, 8 seconds exhale. Actually po, ginagawa ko po siya yun nga po nung quarantine, and sobrang helpful po. And thank you po dahil na-share niyo po yun sa ating mga viewers today. How about you, Ate Andre? Ano po yung masasabi niyo?
Right, I agree with what Angeli mentioned. Sa lahat ng sinabi niya, yun talaga yung ilan sa mga bagay na tumatak sa akin. Also, what really stayed with me na sinabi niyo po, Coach Lot, is yung sinabi niyo po na hindi masama ang magpahinga. Sa amin kasing mga architecture student, lagi kaming pressured or pushed or forced to finish a lot of workload. So ayun, nakakalimutan na talaga namin yung sarili namin kasi we're pushing ourselves
Well,
to
actually, no,
be
yeah,
the
I would
best,
not,
di ba?
yeah. Actually,
Ayun.
okay lang if you push. Yeah, okay lang if you push it, no, kung marami kayo nire-rush. But you would notice, di ba, kapag pagod ka na, tapos pinush mo pa, lalong wala kang matapos. Kaya mo sinasabi ko, pag pagod na, tama na muna, bitaw. Ay, 5-10 minutes, di ba? That would create a lot. Kasi kaysa pipilitin mo siya, tapos mabagal din. Hindi, nagiging useless lang siya. Diba?
Yes po. So that's why it's okay to pause and to breathe.
Yes.
Simulan ulit yung mga plates natin kasi for sure for those few minutes na nag-pause tayo, for sure malaking energy yung magagather natin para tapusin pa natin yung mga natitira nating workloads or yung mga plates natin. And also, gusto ko din po yung sinabi niya na it's okay to not be okay as long as you are not giving up. Syempre, ayun, madaming ang ginagawa. So, naiisip natin, hala, parang ayoko na mag-archi. But no, we push ourselves. We push others with us. We lift each other up. So yun yung isa sa pinakamaganda na narinig ko po mula sa inyo. So anyway, I think it's time for us to entertain our viewers' questions naman. So let's see sa ating comment section. So guys, for our audience, if you have any questions for Coach Lot, huwag kayong mahiya. So drop your questions in the comment section below at babasahin namin yan. So ayan, Coach Lot, marami
thank
you.
Ayan, yes.
Well,
actually, may nababasa po tayo dito, Coach, na ibang sentiments. May sabi po dito from 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐥 Punsalan, normalize guys expressing emotions. Very true po yan dahil emotions and feelings are human characteristics. So yes, let us normalize guys expressing emotions.
Also,
meron pa dito from
sabi niya,
yes,
be thankful for the experiences you encounter and challenges you surpass because they make you better than before and equipped for the future.
Ganda.
So
ganda
for our questions naman, from Sophie Symbol po, Coach Lot, her question is there something we could have nearby to help aid us if an anxiety attack occurs?
Okay. If an anxiety occurs, yung tinuro ko sa inyong dalawa, remember the breathing, and then yung 5 senses, okay, that's the immediate response to an anxiety attack. Okay? Yung una, okay, so hinga kang yung may pattern ulit, tapos jumping. Remember yung sight, all of those things, okay? So that would also help you a lot, okay? And if you needed more help other than that one, again, we have Message a Friend. That's our little community. You guys can actually be included in that group, okay? Doon makakakuha pa po kayo ng tips. You can even get in touch with some of the mental health advocates in the community.
Another question po, how to manage or cope up anxiety and depression if you do not have close ties with your family, especially in the midst of the pandemic?
Okay. How would you do that? Well, ang una ko kasing question doon, wala ka bang friends or relatives nearby? Kung mag-isa ka naman sa house, you also have, well, marami naman tayong ways na to communicate to people. I know of actually inabaliktad yung ginawa niya, no, nararamdaman niya yung depression with the family. So, ginawa niya, umalis siya, lumipat siya ng ibang lugar. My point there is, find a relative, alright? Or pwede ka get in touch with them through any social media, no? Marami ng ways eh. Just reach out. If you think you needed help, no? Don't wait for people to go to you. Start looking for people to help you. Ikaw ang mag-reach out. Ask for help. Yun kasi nagiging problema sa atin, no? Ayaw natin humingi ng tulong. Nag-iintay tayong may mag-alok ng tulong sa atin. So, on this, especially sa panahon ng pandemic, reach out and ask people to help you out. Maraming gustong tumulong sa atin sa bawat isa. That's all you need to do is to tell that you needed help also. Okay? That helps what I yung aking tip.
Another question po, ano pong pinaka-healthy na coping mechanism ang gawain when nag-overthink and anxious? From Frankie Alvin.
Okay. Again, yung sinabi ko kanina, breathing and grounding. Those are the first two for anxiety attacks. On a regular basis, if you really wanted to be healthy, exercise. Exercise, meditate, eat well. Those are the things that you needed to do. Kailangan mo siyang gawin regularly. On my end, I may not be able to run really that much kasi mahirap tumakbo na may face mask, no? So what I do, nag-workout ako sa bahay. As much as possible, I do that one at least 3 to 4 times in a week. Alright? Then lalabas ako, kailangan kong magpa-araw. Remember yung discussion ko sa happy hormones. So kailangan yung magpa-araw 15 minutes each day. Those things, kapag nag-activate yung ating happy hormones, you will feel a little bit or a lot better. Yun yung magiging kalaban ng anxiety and depression. Okay? So, everything nasa hormones mo yan, no? Kahit anong sabihin sa'yo, pero ayaw mo gumawa ng paraan, mag-activate ang hormones mo, that would also be useless. Magiging useless. So, you really have to move. You really have to move.
Thank you po.
So,
Another question po from Holly Garcia. Ano po pwedeng alternate sa therapy pag hindi po afford?
Pag hindi afford?
Yes po.
Okay, depende kasi yun kung ano, okay. Depende kasi yun kung ano yung kailangan mong coaching style. Again, like what I said, so message a friend, if you really needed help. I think yung mga diniscuss ko ngayon, those are all things na pwede mong gawin. And those are already for free, di ba? And I think this would even be recorded, so mari-review nyo pa itong webinar na to. And if you cannot do that one, I still have other webinars wherein I discuss the same thing, and that's with Makati Science High School naman. I'm also with PIA-NCR. No? Nagbibigay na ako ng libre halos. No? That's already my advocacy sa mental health. We are giving this one, what I gave you are already tips in replacement of you paying another one. Now, if still you needed more help, again, you can message any one of us, message a friend, and we'll give you more tips to follow. No, what are the things that you can possibly do? But aside from what we have discussed earlier.
And then po for our last question po, Coach Lot, from Ronel Repil, regarding the question a while ago, what will you do if your family is keeping you stressed?
Okay. Ang question ko dyan, may follow-up dapat yan. Ilang taon ka na ba? Okay. Kasi may friend ako na ganyan din. No? Sabi niya, I think it's my family nagpapalala ng stress ko. Ang ginawa niya, namupahan siya, umalis siya sa kanila. And she's a lot happier now. No? Minsan kasi, or kung halimbawa hindi mo naman afford, pero may sarili kang kwarto, you can actually stay in your room most of the time. So, iwas ka na lang dun sa mga conversations na alam mo naman mai-stress ka. Diba? Tiyak naman your family members, alam mo na rin ang kinitig nila. You know kung kailan ka matitrigger sa iyong mga para ka magalit or may stress. Iwasan mo na bago pa siya mangyari. Ako, on my end, if in case stressed ako sa ibang kasama ko sa bahay, I stay in my room most of the time. Kasi remember yung sinabi ko kanina, diniscuss ko about cabin fever, nangyayari yan na kung halimbawa ilang kayong miyembro sa pamilya, lahat kayong irritable na, baka lahat kayo nagsasuffer na ng cabin fever. So ano ang solusyon doon? Dumistansya ka lang muna. It's either pumunta ka sa grocery, okay, mag-ikot-ikot ka doon, huminga ka, you have to have a breather also, separator away from another person inside the house. Kasi baka nga cabin fever na yun. Kaya lahat kayo parang, alam mo, irritated na kapag may binanggit, pwede kayo sumiklab na mag-away-away. It is possible that to happen nowadays. No? So, just learn how to distance yourself at a certain point.
Ayun, take a step back muna. Yun, and assess the situation. Ayan. So I think we've covered and answered all your questions ng ating audience. So once again, thank you very much for your time and effort, Coach Lot Lumawig, and for sharing with us your kind words of wisdom that would certainly help us understand and manage stress, negative emotions, and pressure during this COVID-19 pandemic. At this point, we would like to give you this token of appreciation for being with us virtually today. So, ayan po.
Alright.
Our
Thank
e-certificate.
you.
I will read it for you, Coach. Certificate of Appreciation. This Certificate of Appreciation is hereby presented to Coach Lot Lumawig for imparting their knowledge and insights as a guest speaker for Arkitekturo, an online lecture series held this 8th day of November 2020 as a part of the Project TAP via YouTube live stream. Together, let's take a step forward. Signed by the event head and Student Council Vice President Grazel Rebulanan, Student Council Auditor and Project Top Head Ezekiel Joshua Punsalan, and of course, the Student Council President Tricia Danica Belizar. And of course, along with our token of appreciation, syempre, kasama din po dyan, we are planning to give you a Brazo Cups. So, ayun po, na ipapa-deliver po namin sa inyo soon. So, pakiintay po siya. Once
Thank
again, thank you
you.
so much,
Sure.
Coach Lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much for
Again,
doing
thank you so much, Coach Lot.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you po. Ayan, for sure is maraming natutunan ng ating viewers for today na talaga namang babaunin nila sa ating live. Alright, for now, we will be having a mini icebreaker again. Ayan, ito na ang pinakahinihintay nyo. Dito kayo masaya eh. Ating mini icebreaker para naman makapag-interact tayong lahat sa isa't isa. Ayan, sobrang simple lang ng mechanics nito. All you have to do is compose a 5-syllable phrase of encouragement and comment it sa aming Arkitekturo post on our FB page, which is PLM Ka-op Student Council, or tweet us using the hashtag Arkitekturo_F2.
Ayan, anything that you think might cheer a person up. So again, 5-syllable phrase of encouragement lang. So it can be for yourself or for others. Kasi syempre alam naman natin na kailangan natin ng mga ganito during these times. So for example, 5-syllable phrase of encouragement, kaya natin to, or laban architect. Okay, so 5 syllables only. And then we will announce the winners at the end of this webinar. Take note, no? 2 of our witty viewers ang mananalo. So make sure to follow the mechanics and wait for our announcement at the end of the webinar. So comment on our Facebook page post sa aming Arkitekturo post. And you can also tweet us again using the hashtag Arkitekturo_F2, and we will read it later.
Ayan. Again, 5-syllable phrase of words of encouragement lang, ha? Di na pwedeng gamitin yung example na ni Ate Andre. Pwede rin example, magbigay ako para makapag-isip pa kayo. Gawa ka na plates. Ayan, 5 syllables na. Or di kaya, deadline na bukas. Di ba, nakaka-encourage talaga yun kung deadline na bukas, di ba? Ayan, bawal nyo na yun gamitan, okay? Alright, also, don't forget to like our Facebook page since nandun na rin naman kayo, doon kayo magko-comment sa post, PLM Ka-op Student Council. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ka-op SC Official. And of course, support our One View, One Step Forward campaign by subscribing and watching our videos here on YouTube. It's PLM Architecture.
Ayun. And of course, no, batiin ko lang din, Angeli, yung mga nanonood sa atin. So we have someone from FEU kanina. And then we have also University of Nueva Cáceres. So I think that's from Naga pa. Ayun, sobrang layo ng narating ni Ka-op SC. So ayan. So hi po sa inyo lahat. And of course, the students of Ka-op students from PLM. So may nakita ko kanina, Block 1-4, Block 1-5, Block 2-2. Ayan, so very active sila sa ating comment section. So ayan, hi sa inyong lahat. Also, for everyone's knowledge, the PLM CAUP Student Council initiated a donation drive called Tulong Estudyante. So its aim is to pursue a better remote learning for CAUP students. Of course, any amount would be greatly appreciated by the students of CAUP. So you can see on our screen the accounts where you can donate. And for more information, you can also check our official Facebook page again at PLM CAUP Student Council. So, sa nakikita ko sa comment section, Angeli, marami pa ring nag-thank you, no? Na-enjoy ata nila talaga yung talk ni Coach Lot kanina. Parang napakadami nilang
Oo.
natutunan.
Yes, that is right. Aabangan namin yung mga entries nyo para sa ating phrases of encouragement na 5 syllables lamang. Okay? So, ayan. Punta na kayo sa Facebook or Twitter. Hintayin namin kayo na bumalik, of course, to type in your entries para sa sarili nyo or para sa others para ma-encourage natin ang isa't isa. Alright, so let's continue this webinar. I feel like ready na po tayo. Okay? You can still submit your entries throughout the session and we will announce the winners right after our second talk. And hello sa ating new viewers. If you're new here, again, don't forget to like our Facebook page, PLM CAUP Student Council, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CAUP SE Official, and support our One View, One Step Forward campaign by subscribing and watching our videos here on YouTube. It's PLM Architecture. Ayan, we know that you're still pumped up for today's information, so let's continue right away.
That is right. Also, we would like to thank our generous sponsors for today's episode of Arkitekturo. Once again, thank you so much to Boujee Shop Manila and Sweet Hangover for sponsoring today's episode. All right, so let's get right into our second talk. So allow me to introduce to you our second guest speaker, who was the Vice President of PLM CAUP Student Council of the academic year 2016-2017. He was the Public Relations Officer and OIC President of PLM Supreme Student Council of the academic year 2017-2018. He is also the Chapter Vice President for Operations from 2019 to July 2020 and the current chapter president of United Architects of the Philippines Graduates Auxiliary Makati CBD chapter. He has also participated in several seminars and trainings that are related with various architectural software and in UAPSA as well. He was also a junior architect and site coordinator in a small-scale architectural firm and modular cabinetry shop called Add-ons Architectural Design from 2018 to March 2020. His thorough hands-on experiences and achievements can surely fuel our determination as aspiring architects and professionals. And now, without further ado, let us all welcome Mr. Brian Anthony Laquinta.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me? May ako?
Yes.
Yes
You can.
po. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon
Good
po.
afternoon everyone. Yes. Okay. So I'll share my screen.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Ayan. So iiwan ko lang ng ganyan. Okay. Wait lang. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you for inviting me ka SE. I bid you again advance congratulations na for this successful event kahit hindi pa tapos. Nakakatuwa kasi as a former ka SE officer myself, nakakagawa na tayo ng mga ganitong klaseng events despite the challenges that we are facing right now, like ngayon nasa pandemic tayo, pero nagagawa pa din ng KOPSC na mag-arrange ng mga ganitong events for everyone to learn a thing or two about general skills na kakailanganin natin or yung mga assistance na kailangan natin as part of our journey of being architect. So thank you, Kao Pesi, for inviting me. And sa lahat ng viewers sa YouTube, sa kung saan man, thank you for listening, still listening. Nakakatuwa yung ano no, talk kanina ni Coach Lot, lumawig, nakaka-inspire siya, and at the same time, actually I have my dog here. Talagang anxiety pill, 'di ba? Cute. So I always pet my dog whenever I feel anxious sa mga ganitong bagay. So ayun, so bear with me. I am not a professional yet like Coach Lumawig, pero I can assure you na I would help you a thing or two about yung topic na provide sa akin ngayon. So nasabi naman nila yung brief background ko on my leadership experience. Um, pero I just want to back take back memory lane, kumbaga, walk back memory lane. I started actually as junior officer sa Kaop SC noong 2014. I believe wala pa kayo noon. Like, hindi ko nga alam kung plano niyo na ba maging architect, no? Baka nakikipag ano pa kayo noon, harutan pa kayo sa mga ano yun, nagpapasama pa kayo ng 1/4 sheet of paper sa mga ano nyo nung first year high school, ganyan. Hi loves, gano'n. So, hindi naman ako gano'n katanda. I'm 21 years old, pero I graduated on 2018. So, madaming nagugulat sa information na yon. Pero, I get flattered at times. Pero, age is just a number in this context. So, I started 2014 as a CAOP junior architect officer. I was also lost. Parang I didn't know that there is a whole array of experiences that I didn't know nung time na yon. Actually, nahablot lang ako for it was for a contest, Elite Fashion House. Kung may mga nakakaalam nun na sa viewers natin, hello, matanda na kayo. Elite Fashion House was actually an event from the PLM SSC, so parang University Week na magko-compete yung different colleges. So parang ako yung tagagupit ng mga tela, tagabilin ng tubig. So doon nag-start yun, parang akong naging personal assistant. Pero at first, in-assess ko parang okay ako dito kasi nai-enjoy ko yung pagtulong. Alam mo yung kapag inuutusan ka, parang I enjoy responsibility talaga nung mga times na 'to. So nagtuloy-tuloy siya from there. I became vice president nga of CAOP SC, and then I ran for as public relations officer nung SSC, PLM SSC nung time ko, nung fifth year ako noon. Imagine, kakatapos lang ng OJT, nagte-thesis na, so grabbing hectic, and then I still decided to run. So 'di ba, loka-loka din 'to no. I still decided to run for PRO, and fortunately I won. I also became OIC president of the whole SSC nung November to December lang, just to relieve yung position nung president ko nung time na yun kasi nag-OJT siya. Pero wala lang din yun. Bumalik lang din ako for being PRO, and then I graduated April 2018 with no flying colors. Joke lang. Wala, okay na, normal lang. As you can tell, now, I started yung work ko nung August 2018, I believe. And then I stopped because of the pandemic. I resigned. So, dun sa dati kong work, I was junior and site architect. So, I had many projects na ako lang site architect. So, mostly I was stay in. So, I physically had to be in the project at all times, like 6 days a week. Uh, I was monitoring resorts, I was monitoring condo fit outs, and dahil nga dun sa modular cabinetry shop siya, I was also designing cabinets. I was designing swimming pools for the resort, mga ganyan-ganyan. So, yun lang yung brief background sa akin. Pero I would like to share to you na all of those things that I said are not important. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi iba-iba tayo na experiences. Lahat ng mga experiences na yun, I'm very thankful that I got the opportunity na mapunta sa mga positions na yun. So, let's forward the slide. So, ito yung binigay sa akin kasi topic So, balancing student leadership and student responsibilities simultaneously. Now, looking back, actually, I planned to make this talk more of a mental health talk. Pero, I know that Coach Lot is more well-versed dun sa topic na yun since siya ay professionally inclined to talk about that. So medyo she got where the work cut out for me na I am just sharing my sentiments on how to become a student leader. So let's scrap that. Medyo baguhin natin. I will talk about how to be an effective student leader. I told you earlier na yung aking leadership experience is not that important. It's not important in a sense na hindi mo kailangang magkaroon ng posisyon to be a leader. Leadership does not equal position. To all the ka-op SE na present ngayon dito, to the UAPSA, PLM, I know that you can relate. Uh, you will relate dito sa topic ko kasi alam niyo yung mga pinag-uusapan natin. Pero dun sa mga viewers natin na hamak lamang na estudyante na ang responsibilidad lang ay mag-aral, makipag-usap sa kaibigan, mag-thesis, graduate, at magtrabaho para sa Pilipinas. Minsan may mga students na hindi nila nakukuha kung para saan ba yung pagiging leader. Pwede naman ako maging student lang. And I'm here to change that. Being a student, lahat tayo student tayo. Naging student tayo. Well, ako, kayo, student kayo ngayon. Lahat kayo is merong ginagampan ng responsibilities as a student. Pero I can assure you this. After this talk, I want you to know that everyone can be a leader as well. So may daga dyan, kaya may daga na yan. Si Remy from Ratatouille, actually one of my favorite Pixar movies of all time. Naalala ko lang yung sinabi ni Gusto na anyone can cook. And the same applies to here na anyone can cook. Actually, ang exact words niya is, not everyone can be a great chef, but anyone can cook. Parang ganon. So I could also put the same analogy in here na not everyone is a great leader, but anyone can be a leader as well. So now I'm here to share to you na lahat ng estudyante dito, kahit hindi nyo alam, you have the potential in you to become a leader. So, what is leadership? Let's define it. May mga common misconceptions tayo when it comes to leadership, okay? Ito yung pinaka-simple way to put it, goodwill over authority. So, common misconceptions of being a leader is pag leader ka dapat charismatic ka, magaling ka makipag-usap sa tao. Kapag leader ka, authoritative ka, kailangan firm-willed. And then, kailangan na mo-motivate mo yung team mo to pull everyone forward. But I'm telling you na it's not always the case, di ba? Charismatic, I don't think so. Kasi even me, I experienced a fear na na-overcome ko, which is I was also afraid of public speaking, di ba? I think many in the comments would agree with me that a lot of you are afraid of speaking in front of many people or speaking sa public. Kaya nga 'di ba nauso ngayon sa social media craze natin, bumulwak talaga ang anonymity or presenting yourself in the internet nang hindi nyo alam yung I mean na naka-censor yung pagkatao nyo. I was afraid of public speaking, like nanginginig talaga ako. Kapag pupunta ako sa stage, nauutal ako, I had a stutter. Kung napapansin niyo, medyo nagsa-stutter din ako. I had a stutter. It's a deficiency nung bata ako na medyo na-solusyonan naman. Pero public speaking wise, I was just afraid na I would say the wrong things. Baka maihilang ako sa gitna ng stage. So, not all leaders are born charismatic or born friendly or hindi sila Miss Congeniality paglabas nila ng womb na parang kaya nila makipag-usap sa lahat. There are different levels to that. Second, strong-willed, 'di ba? Parang ang daming sabi kapag leader ka, authoritative ka, kapag nasa desisyon ka, ikaw yung isang desisyon, ikaw yung punot dulo ng lahat. Pero let's talk about authority versus influence, 'di ba? Authority, as we see it, is something that demands and imposes. So, pag authority ka, you demand something, you impose, ito yung gusto ko, ito yung ganito. Sundin mo yung gusto ko. Pero a good leader actually coaches and inspires. 'Di ba? When we talk about organizing or mobilizing a certain community which have the same objectives as you, it is important na you inspire them. Kasi influence, yung influence mo sa kanila, yung magdidikta kung paano kanila susundin as a leader. Ayun. So ito pa, yung ibang nakalagay, strong-willed, firm, and unyielding is not uh, this is a common misconception of being a leader na dapat lagi kang unyielding, yung susundin mo lang yung sarili mo. Pero you need to actually be understanding and empathetic. Uh, Example pa lang sa CAUP, ilan ang population ng CAUP ngayon? I don't know, hundreds. In some colleges, thousands. In my organization, hundreds lang din kami. Pero nationally, we hold events for thousands and tens of thousands of professionals. You need to be understanding of each and every one of them. And later, I will discuss kung paano natin gagawin ito. Common misconception then is we order to pull the team forward. A leader orders to pull the team forward. When in fact, a true leader pushes with the team. With the team. That's the keyword there, with. Hindi mo sila ini-instruct na, oy tara, punta kayo dito. I lead the way. You don't just lead the way. You lead the way and you pave the way for them. Yun yung important doon. Next, failure is equal to punishment. Diba? Ang daming nag-ano na we are forced to believe na kapag nagkamali ka, like, in general, like, kunwari uh, sa event nyo, namali ako ng ng script, namali ako na na-invite, parang, ay, alalagot ka, mapapaano ka, nasususpend ka, or ganyan. Pero let us take, a leader's true mindset is failure is always a learning experience. 'Di ba? Learning experience in such a way na you will take the failure and make sure to never do that again. And to share your failure with others so that you inspire others to never do that again. So let me discuss more about this in the later ano. So ito, I have a quote for from Sheryl Sandberg. Actually, COO to ng Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg. Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that the impact lasts in your absence. So, ngayon, I want everyone to damdamin nyo tong ano na to kasi mamaya mas maiintindihan nyo kung ano ba yung impact na kailangan nating magawa as a leader and ano yung presence na kailangan dinadala natin in front of our constituents. Okay? So, ito. I am discussing this to you. This is a perfect opportunity for me to tell you na architects are natural leaders in their field. That's why I just don't want this to relate or to be relevant to the officers present in this seminar. I also want it to be relevant to everyone. Miski student ka lang, miski ikaw yung student na nasa kasulok-sulukan ng room na walang involvement. I want you to um, take small steps to change that mindset. Kasi in the real world, architects are leaders and I will show them to you through the examples that I have. Actually, hindi kami nag-usap ni Coach Lot dito eh. Ace din yung kanya, 'di ba? Yung apat na ace niya on mental health. I believe yun yung acknowledge, accept, act, and award. So ngayon, nag-prepare din ako. 5 A's naman yung akin. Actually, ang dami kong i-discuss dito na medyo hahapyawan ko na lang din kasi na-discuss na rin siya ni Coach Lot. So you can learn more from the professional rather than me. Pero I'll still share this as a way of, kumbaga, empathizing na I was just like you dati. Kung nag-iisip ako na parang gusto ko maging leader, gusto ko maging officer, pero ganito, ano na lang, I don't know how. I don't know where to start. You can start with yourself. And with my point earlier na everyone is a leader kapag nag-aaral ka ng architecture, dahil architects are leaders, you can start by developing these skills for yourself. Okay? So these are the 5 A's of a good leadership applicable as a student or a professional. Una, absorb. Okay? Enthusiastically navigating a skill ocean. Okay? So ano ibig sabihin yan? Absorb, it pertains to yung nurturing one's knowledge continuously. So, let me relate it first sa ano natin. Alam niyo naman ang standards of professional practice, 'di ba? Uh, in our field, we have laws that protect us from fraud or that protect the integrity of our architectural profession. And dun sa SPPs na yon, na ano dun yung pre-design services. So what is pre-design services? An architect's responsibility is actually to design for its user and its environment. So to design for its user and its environment, ano bang kailangan nyo? Diba? Sinong nakakaalam kung anong kailangan natin? Pag nagde-design ka ng ano, kunwari may lumapit si client sa'yo, I am Henry C. Gusto ko ng panibagong SM sa Nevada. So, anong gagawin ko? So, pre-design services, parang you specifically tailor your design to the user's needs in consideration of the environment, yung mga current laws na meron tayo, ethical standards. And when we render pre-design services, we identify the problem and find the best solution. So, gather knowledge, we research, magawa tayo ng feasibility studies. Ito yung time na binubuklat natin si Max Fardo, yung Black Book, to find standards. Binubuklat natin si Visual Dictionary, si Time Savers, lahat ng kaya nating buklatin to research about how we can provide the best architectural solution for a problem. Now, as a leader, ngayon, rinelate ko siya sa architecture kasi I want you to know na kailangan niyo siya sa field natin. Now, how can you take it as a leader? Kumbaga, paano niyo siya mako-cultivate as a leader? First, know your people and your organization. So, this is to all the officers then. And also, kung kapag nandun ka na sa leadership na mindset, you need to know everyone. 'Di ba? You need to know your constituents well. You need to know their strengths and weaknesses. You need to study them. Kung kahit yung pinakakasulok-sulukan yung uh, tawag dito, yung pinakamababa yung ano, yung mga deputies nyo, kahit kung hindi nyo man alam yung pangalan, you're not an effective leader. Dapat alam nyo lahat nung mga ano nila, nung mga ah, pangalan nila, or I mean, hindi nyo naman kailangan kabisaduhin, pero at least you know na, officer ko to, nakausap ko to, I connected with this person, kaya ako siya pinili sa position na to. You should also know how to study their strengths and their weaknesses. So, SWOT analysis, alam niyo naman na yon. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Pero as a leader, most likely yung threats can always be overthrown by the opportunity. So, learn their strengths. Like, syempre, in-interview ko siya, creatives ka? Okay. Punta ka na sa creatives team, marunong ako mag-Photoshop, ganyan. So, learn their strengths and weaknesses. If you handle an organization, know the technicalities, bylaws of your organization, and ins and outs of kung paano magpasa ng CSW, yung mga ganong bagay, yung something na technical info na pwede nyong i-share, na pwede nyong malaman na makakatulong sa kung paano kayo magli-lead. Kasi yung mga anong yun yung mga bylaws na yan yung guide nyo on how you can ensure na yung mga events nyo and yung organization nyo will run as smoothly as possible. So this could ito mga to is kailangan siya to become a great leader. So you need to absorb anything around you. Just like in architecture, you need to absorb yung space kung gusto niyo magplano based on that space. You need to absorb the environment to learn the endemic plants around so you know how to environmentally design the space. Diba? So just like being a leader, you need to absorb it. And third, having a clear objective in mind. So kapag leader ka, you have this objective in your mind that aligns mostly with your principles on how kung paano mo mapatakbo yung yung organization or kung how you can lead other people and be an example and a good role model for other people. For example, nung SSC PRO ako, my advocacy was to promote cultural diversity as well as arts. So, music, kulturang Pinoy. So, I was advocating for events on Wika, nung linggo ng Wika. I was part of several talks on yung mga anime con, yung mga anime con sa Pilipinas, yung um, mural painting sa PLM that represents yung Filipino diversity. So, you have to have an objective kung gusto nyong kung gusto nyong ma-fulfill yung pagiging isang effective leader. Kasi yun yung pinaka path nyo on your way to success. Kumbaga, yun yung yun yung pupuntahan nyo, yun yung end goal nyo. Okay? So, yun lang. Absorb, number 1. Next, allocate. So, ito, nakakatuwa to. The essence of time and efficiency kasi I had my work cut out for me. Time management was actually discussed na kanina by Coach Lot. Pero I just, bigyan ko lang din kayo ng pahapyaw na about the time management. In design, we value time and consistency. As architects, an architect's responsibility is to design with cost efficiency. In the real world, no matter how big or small a project is, it will always be constricted by two things: time and money. And time lost is money lost. So, may share ako nung nag-site architect ako sa Alfonso Cavite, which is for a resort. Meron talagang time doon na umuulan. So, syempre, bakal is corrosive. So, kailangan namin gawin yung bubong, steel, yung mga zipper lins which are made of GI, which is corrosive kapag you left unattended under the rain. And then pinagalitan ako ng architect ko kasi parang may time na hindi ko na approve yung resibo or something like that. So hindi ko alam na na-deliver na pala siya sa site. Weekends to, wala ako dun sa site. Tapos na deliver siya, hindi ko alam na hindi natakpan man lang. So, yung mga zipper lins, kinalawang sila. Like, base essentially. So, we had to take extra measures. Siyempre, bumili kami ng rust remover, ng epoxy paint, ganyan. So, yung mga simple, failure to manage your time is very crucial kapag architect ka na. That's why this is very important as a leader na matutunan natin how to value time and consistency. Before that, ayun nga, disclaimer lang, time management is different from, lack of time management is different from procrastination. Since we're in the topic na rin of mental health, sino nakakaalam ng procrastination? Ayun, so procrastination is different from time management. Actually, psychologists, I think Coach Lot can vouch for me kung may mali akong masabi. I'll contact him. Pero I researched about this talaga. Procrastination, ang daming nagsasabi na it is just failure of self-control. Kung kung ranasan nyo na yon na 2 weeks yung binigay sa inyo na plate, major plate, mid-term plate, and then sabi nyo, sige, i-design ko na lang siya after, simulan ko siya bukas. Ayan. Nag-cellphone ka muna, nag-TikTok ka muna, renegade. Tapos the next day, bukas na lang ulit. Pero bubuksan ko na paunti-unti. Like, binubuksan ko na yung PDF ko, ganyan, time savers. Tapos hanggang lumipas na, 3 araw na lang before the deadline, doon mo lang sisimulan. Pero ang matindi pa, hindi mo pa sisimulan sa third day. Parang tatanungin pa yung friends mo, uy, may nagawa ka na? Uy, may nagawa ka na ba? Tapos biglang syempre yung iba, wala pa akong nagagawa. Ikaw din. So, makakalma ka. Okay, sige, wala pa pala nagagawa. So, bukas na lang. Hanggang 2 days, 1 day, 12 hours, 'di ba? Parang nagko-curse ka na lang on your head. Bakit ko ba siya hindi ginagawa? So, I'll read to you a certain excerpt. Psychologists see flaws in a strictly temporal view of procrastination. Kasi kala nila na temporal view lang. By temporal view, meaning parang it's a surface level view of procrastination. Kasi parang sinasabi nila, if delay were really as rational as this utility equation suggests, there would be no need to call the behavior procrastination. On the contrary, time management would fit better. So ang ibig sabihin nito is procrastination, kung self-control lang, I mean kung function lang pala, kung kunwari pinili ko lang na hindi siya gawin kasi may ginagawa akong iba, kung may mas ginagawa akong importante, hindi procrastination yung tawag doon. It's time management. May mga studies kasi found that procrastination or procrastinators carry accompanying feelings of guilt, shame, or anxiety with their decisions to delay. Please remember these keywords: guilt, shame, or anxiety. It means that there is an emotional element that suggests that there is more to the story than time management alone. So kapag procrastinator ka and sinisisi mo yung sarili mo na ano bang problema sa akin, parang may mali ba sa akin, parang to the point na naiiyak ka na bakit ba hindi ko ginagawa to ng mas maaga. It's not your fault. Or more so, it can still be, pwede pa siyang ma-alleviate. Kasi what procrastination is just regulating your mood. You avoiding certain negative emotions. Kung isipin nyo like, ayokong gawin yung major plate, ano ba yung emotions na inaano ko, na ina-avoid ko? Ay, major plate ko kasi ospital, sobrang overwhelming, ang daming kailangang mga design, ang daming babasahin. Na-overwhelm ako, hindi ako mapag-isip, bukas na lang. So, it's not more so na ayaw mo siyang gawin, it's your mindset na it can be overwhelming, you feel anxious, or minsan you feel guilty to do something, or shameful to do something. That's why you delay. 'Di ba? So, ang daming nagba-back up nito na mga psychologists na from universities in Canada, in America, in Europe. Tawag dito, if you're focused just on trying to get yourself to feel good now, there is a lot you can miss out on in terms of learning how to correct behavior and avoiding similar problems in the future. So, let's see kung paano natin i-refresh natin yung mga tips na binigay kanina ni Coach Lat. Una, plan your schedule. By planning your schedule, 'di ba? It's as easy as downloading an app. Minsan nga hindi na kailangan mag-download ng app. You don't need those fancy 50 peso organizer apps. Yung may mga design pa yung calendar, Google Apps. In order to arrange your schedule for you, you could actually just do a simple to-do list. Bumili ako sa National, tip ko to, sobrang nakakatulong to kahit sa work field. Tip ko, bumibili ako nung, alam niyo sa nurse, yung para siyang parang matigas na plastic na board, tawag doon. Hindi ko alam, sorry. Yung board, tapos may parang clipboard, ayun, clipboard, and then kukuha akong scratch paper. Minsan nung student ako, kumuha akong scratch paper sa Ka-UP-SC office. Ganun lang. Kuha lang ako sa Ka-UP-SC office ng scratch paper. Hindi alam nila Sir Nudas yun. Tapos, ginaganon ko lang. Ayun, doon ako nagsusulat ng notes. Anything na marinig ko or anything na gusto kong feeling ko kailangan kong gawin or something important to note for the day, I plan it. I write it. And I think that's a start kasi madami sa atin na we're anxious. Di ba gaya nga ng sabi ni Coach Lat kanina, we are very anxious to the point that our cortisol levels go up. Nakakalimutan natin yung mga bagay-bagay na kakaligtaan natin na actually gawin sila kahit in the first place, hindi mo naman talaga gustong i-avoid yun. Talagang, ay, shucks na nakalimutan ko, may papasa pala ako bukas. It's not your fault. Pero you can help yourself by actually writing it down, 'di ba? Planning your schedule. Now, kunwari may major plate ka, 2 weeks, allot a time to list down sa major plate nyo. Ano yung mga design requirements? So, design ganito, architectural programming, ilista mo siya, gawa kang checklist, architectural programming, site analysis, feasibility study, research, tapos design concept, tapos yung mga architectural drawings from plans to sections to perspectives, di ba? And then ilista mo siya, make a checklist, and I promise you, it will make a whole lot of difference kapag nakikita mo yung schedule mo. Kasi pag nakikita mo siya, visual impact na parang, I really need to do this. And baka ako lang to, or baka obsession ko lang din to sa sarili ko. Pero I really love shading out checklists kasi it makes me feel relieved. Kasi parang, tapos na to. Hala, gusto ko i-check siya. So parang gagawin ko siya for the sake na i-check ko lang yung checklist. So, ayun, just a little tip. Okay, next. Oops, sorry. Okay. Provide an allowance, but always stick to your schedule at all costs. So, it's important to always provide an allowance for unforeseen circumstances. Meron talaga mga bagay as a student, kahit hindi ka student leader or officer, a student, may mga bagay talaga na hindi mo maiwasan na kailangan pagpaliban mo muna. Like, kailangan ko magluto sa bahay kasi wala kaming pagkain. Or aalis ako kasi mag-ano ko ng PhilHealth. So, dapat yung mga ganong klaseng bagay, parang napaplan nyo din siya. So, kung hindi nyo alam na or kung feeling nyo merong something na mangyayari and you are uncertain of it, there's nothing wrong with providing an allowance. Don't be too hard on yourself to set strict schedules na alam nyo sa sarili nyo, hindi nyo naman masusunod, di ba? So, ang dami, guilty ako dyan. Parang sabihin ko, oy, perspective, kaya ko yan, 3 hours. Diyos ko. 3 hours ako, mahagulgul na ako habang kumakain ng pagkain. Hindi ko magawa, wala pa. So, be true. Provide an allowance. Parang, it's a step-by-step process. So, provide an allowance, but always stick to your schedule at all costs. Okay. Number three, list in order of importance. This is actually, medyo 50-50 ako dito kasi depende siya eh. Other people list in order of most important, yun muna yung uunahin nila to least important. Actually, comment down below kung ano yung ginagawa nyo, kung more important or least important, and tell me why, kasi gusto ko ding malaman yung sentiments nyo. And babasahin ko siya mamaya kasi hindi ko ma-access yung comments eh. But anyway, it's either least important or more important or least important. Ako personally, ang ginagawa ko is yung more important. Kasi parang I deal with them first dahil alam ko na time-wise and like logically, it would take me more time to do it. Like for example, major plate versus a simple architectural esquisse. Uunahin ko yung major plate ko kasi it requires reading time. Kailangan ko magbasa about this certain building, kailangan ko magganto. So inuuna ko siya. And then uunti-untiin ko, and then after ko matapos, I'll go to the smaller stuff. And then kapag nasa smaller stuff na ako, I actually feel more comfortable na to the point na yung mga smaller stuff, yun pa yung mas parang 'di ba dapat ang ano natin, ang perception natin, mag-e-effort ako sa major plate dun sa more important stuff. Tapos, hindi na ako masyado mag-effort dun sa skis lang naman eh. Pero by this manner, nung pag ginagawa ko siyang more important to least important, parang may time na kapag nandun na ako, I'm getting the hang of it. Parang I can't stop na parang, ay, gusto ko na mag-design. Sige, sige, go. Tapos, you will have to find your momentum. And then, pagdating mo dun sa mga least important stuff, you will actually exceed pa yung expectations dun sa kung anong ginagawa, dun sa current na expectation mo dun sa gagawin mo. Parang minsan na-over ko pa yung esquisse. Parang, kung esquisse lang yan, hala, ba't rendered yan? Kasi parang nahahype ako. So, ayun. After that, focus on one task at a time. So, ito important din to. Ang dami tayong kalala dyan multitasker. Sino dito yung sa computer nila nakabukas yung tab ng AutoCAD, tapos nakabukas yung Spotify, tapos may pinapanood na anime. Yung iba, sabi nila, ay, hindi kaya ng computer ko, mababa specs. I understand you. I had a laptop na hindi, as in, first, pagbukas pala ng SketchUp, nagka-crash na. So, di ba, RIP my old laptop. Pero minsan ganun eh, na parang we tend to be overly confident na kapag nandun na tayo sa momentum of planning our schedule. Parang, sige, I tend to be overly confident na nagmo-model lang naman ako, i-extrude ko lang naman yung mga walls. Parang, okay, sige, nood ako anime. To the point na habang nanonood ka ng anime, you're invested in two things at once na hindi mo na nakikita na it's taking much more of your time than when you focus one task at a time. So, siguro let us learn to break the habit of being multitaskers kasi we can be more productive. And it is proven, it is backed up by psychology na it is proven talaga na magiging more productive ka when uh, you do one task at a time. It can be debatable, it can be argued, in the scientific community na minsan multitasking can result to be more productive. Pero one thing's for sure, when you focus on one task at a time, you will be able to dedicate yourself more fully on that single task. Diba? So, hindi hati yung attention mo. Then, ayan. So, the fifth item, actually, ito yung sobrang thankful ako na diniscuss ni Coach Lot kasi ang dami kong katanungan din dito na nasagot niya. So, rest. Ito, I want everyone to remember this quote. It was quoted to me by my psychology professor no second year college ako. Lost sleep is lost forever. I repeat, lost sleep is lost forever. Kapag sinabi mong magpupuyat ako ngayon, 3 hours lang tulog ko and then bukas papasok na ako, hindi mo mababawi yon kahit anong gawin mo. Kung ano yung kung ano yung inallot mo na time na gising ka to push yourself to exert more effort, hindi mo mababawi yon. Like, sige, itutulog ko na lang Friday. Tapos parang, sige, pupuyat ako Friday, tapos Saturday tutulog ako buong araw. Your body does not work like that. Your body needs the ample time to rest and regenerate itself. Kaya kapag ginagawa mo yon, it will just mess up your sleep schedule. And like Coach Lumawig said earlier, when you mess up your sleep schedule, it causes a heck of a lot of problems like irritability, anxiety, you often forget more things, minsan weight gain, di ba? And it's very naranasan ko din siya nung college ako, nung fourth year yata, VP ako nung KAUP. Talagang may time talaga na pumayat ako ng super. Hindi weight gain yung inano ko. Pumayat ako ng super kasi nagpupuyat ako. Like ako, alam ko I'm chubby, proud chubby here. Pero talaga dati, ang nipis ng mukha ko. Kasi I was just, tas marami akong tigyawat, which is hormonal, genetic minsan. Naliligo naman ako araw-araw, so I can safely assure na hindi siya hygiene purposes. Pero talaga kaka-pimples ako, and then I had trouble listening to my teachers on lectures. It affected a lot of my time. Uh, the more time na sana gumagawa ako ng something, instead of doing that thing to be more productive and to allocate my time to better and productive things, nagiging lang ako, parang tulog ko na lang muna. O kaya tatutulala lang ako. May mga times na tulala lang ako. Ganyan lang. Hi, what is life? Ganyan, kailan lalabas comeback ng twice, parang gano'n. Ganun lang ako. Yun lang buhay ko ng fourth year. So parang, I learned to keep this in heart na it's important to rest. Pag nagplano ka ng schedule, balik ako, you don't force yourself to do things, alam mo yun, like, natapusin lahat in just one day. You need to rest. Kasi rest is your way of uh, restoring yung rhythmic flow or yung natural rhythmic flow ng katawan mo when it comes to your sleep. And it will actually help you think better. In exams, kapag nag-exam, tip ko sa inyo, pag may exam, review just pag nag-review kayo the day before, tama na kapag gabi na, wag na kayo mag-review at all. I swear, it worked for me all the time. Wag na kayo mag-review before. Siyempre, mag-review kayo, like, mag-review kayo beforehand. Like, 2 days before, ganyan. Pero kapag yung mga ilang hours na lang or matutulog na ako, I don't review anymore. Kasi I dedicate my time na parang gusto ko na patulugin yung sarili ko para pagising ko, fresh sa utak ko. And it's true. Parang fresh siya sa utak ko. Kinabukasan, mas naaalala ko yung mga concepts na pinag-aralan ko. Ayun, so rest is important. So thank you Coach Lumawig for for discussing it thoroughly na kanina. So, ayan, I just wanted to add my sentiments to it. And lastly, aim for excellence. This is important. Aim for excellence, not perfection. I would be a hypocrite or I would be lying if I said na hindi ako, ay na I can manage my time all the way. Kahit ngayon, I still I still mess up sometimes, di ba? I still uh, minsan inuuna ko pa yung mga series na pinapanood ko instead of doing actual stuff. So, I'm not perfect. Pero, it's okay. Kasi nobody is perfect. Meron tayo iba't ibang ways on how we deal with circumstances in our life, just always remember to always do your best, 'di ba? To always do your best. And itong mga list ko na to, it also applies as a student leader. So kapag may mga events kayo or kapag may mga sa organization, kapag may mga kailangan kayong asikasuhin, plan it. And you will see a difference in your productivity na magkakaroon kayo ng ano, oo nga, parang mas napaplan ko siya instead na parang naghihintayan lang kayo na, ay, may magchat-chat, saka lang magsiset ng meeting, di ba? And now in this pandemic, we are forced to be on social media more often. We have a lot of distractions happening around us na ang hirap i i-avoid. So, yun, just always aim for excellence. Don't be too hard on yourself. Gaya ng sabi ni Coach Lot, don't be too hard on yourself. Building habits, sabi nga nila, takes 10 days, 20 days of consistency before you actually build a habit. So, it's a step by step. So, ayun, plan your schedule, ganyan. Provide an allowance, list in order of importance, focus one task at a time, and then afterwards, rest and reward yourself. Okay? So, ayun. Yan yung about time management. So, I hope it helped. Next, adapt. So, ito yung pangatlo, adapt. The art of camaraderie and compromise. Okay. So, as students and as leaders, we need to learn how to adapt. So, how can we relate it sa architectural field natin? Why do we need to adapt in the architectural field? As architects, hindi lang tayo leaders. We are also team players. Hindi natin kayang itayo ang bahay from start to finish ng tayo lang. Ano, mag-hollow blocks ako din yung magsasubmit ng permit. Hindi ganon. We have, what we call our allied professionals with us that share their expertise on certain fields. For example, on civil engineering, structural engineering, meron tayong mechanical, electrical, sanitary engineering. We have our interior designers, 'di ba? And kahit mismo sa office natin or sa ano natin, we have our colleagues. And I want you, every one of you, to focus on your colleagues. Kasi as leaders, mas importante sa inyo yung sa colleagues nyo eh. So, my first tip is to be an effective leader is to adapt and delegate. Guilty ako dito as I have been in position for a lot of times. Minsan, I choose to do things on my own. I want to be independent. Ma, kaya ko to ma. Ganyan. Iyak-iyak na lang sa corner pag di kinaya. Kasi parang feeling ko, I could do so much more with what I have. Um, and I could relay things more effectively kung ako lang. Pero it's important that you should always delegate. Kasi delegation is actually going to help you realize na a team is much more important than the sum of than the whole. Paano ba? Ano yun? The sum of its parts. Search nyo lang sa Google. Hindi ko alam. Pero mas importanteng alam nyo maging team kaysa sa mag-isa ka lang. Kasi mayroon siyang pros and cons, pero in our field of work, mahirap na mag-isa ka lang kasi yung responsibility sa'yo lang lahat kapag mag-isa ka lang. Unlike kapag nag-delegate ka, you will be open to more perspectives on how to do things and uh, basically, it will lessen your burden. Kapag may mga bagay ka na hindi mo na magawa, magsaluhan kayo. Sino nag-ML dito? Mukhang may mga nagmo-Mobile Legends dito. Kapag or naglo-LOL or ano, kapag may mga champion kayo or hero na nasa turret lang mag-isa, tapos kunwari, dalawa kayo sa team mo, tapos mag-isa lang siya sa turret, tapos gusto niya siyang patayin, anong ginagawa niyo? Kaso may turret eh. So, masakit yung turret pag tumama. So, gagawin niyo, magsasaluhan kayo. You will share turret damage. It's actually a very good term to use. Share turret damage. Kumbaga, ikaw muna may yung magpatira dun sa tower habang ina-assassinate yung kalaban nyo dun sa isa. And then, kapag mamamatay ka na, yung isa naman yung papatira sa tower to successfully secure a kill dun sa game na yon. So, sa mga hindi nakaka-relate, I'll share lang na yung ibig sabihin ng turret damage is magsaluhan kayo. Learn to delegate at magsaluhan with each other ng tasks. Paglaruan nyo kung kanino bang tasks mas maganda 'to. That's why you need to study your strengths and weaknesses. And then kapag may mga time na, ay, unforeseen circumstance, kailangan ko talagang gawin 'to. I'm sorry, I can't be a student leader for this day or for tomorrow. Puwedeng pasalo muna nung gawain ko. Go. You should delegate. You should never force yourself to be the only person. You're not a one-man team in this scenario, and you will never be an effective leader if you always choose to do things yourself. Second, align your objective with others. So, 'di ba, meron tayong objectives na kanina dun sa una nating A. Ngayon, we need to align your objectives with others. Nakakatuwa kasi meron akong pinapanood na series, kung alam niyo, yung The Gifted Graduation. Thai series dyan. Hello, everyone. Dun sa Gifted Graduation, meron dong yung isang character, sinabi niya, even if we have the same ideology or approach at doing things, different desires would lead to chaos. So, kahit parehas kayo ng approach, parehas yung gusto maging leader, parehas yung gusto mag-lead, parehas yung gusto maka-inspire, kung hindi kayo parehas ng objective, wala ding mapapala. Same ideology, different desires, what's the point? Hindi nyo din maa-achieve yung gusto nyo. You will just end up competing with each other on your own principles. So it's important to align your objectives with others. Dito papasok yung teamwork. And dito papasok yung third item, which is compromise. Diba? So, you should understand na your colleagues o yung mga friends mo are variables and not constants. Okay? As a leader, you need to acknowledge that na yung mga tao sa paligid mo are variables and not constants. Unlike yung totga mo, nakarelasyon mong kayo pero wala naman label, aray. Yung karelasyon mo na wala naman label, constant kuno, your colleagues are variables. May mga pinagdadaanan yan. You are subjected to different opportunities, to different privileges in your day-to-day lives. You are subjected to different problems. So you need to learn to compromise your schedule. It's important kasi compromise is actually a very healthy way of communicating with others. Kumbaga, pag may mga time talaga na ang dami ng pressure, like for example, a super pressuring na, if you connect with someone and parang, oh, sige, compromise tayo. Ganito, i-move na lang natin yung date, pero tatapusin ko siya ng ganito para ganyan, ganyan. Mas healthy kasi you are opening yourselves to vulnerability. And when you're more vulnerable, mas naaano mo yung expressions and mas nare-relay mo dun sa constituents mo or dun sa colleagues mo kung ano yung problem para masolusyonan yun pareho. So, it's important to adapt. It's important to be open to the sentiments of others. And actually, nakakatuwa kasi I can apply Coach Lot's the 4 A's, yung acknowledge, accept, act, and award sa compromise. Kasi minsan we need to learn to accept mistakes. So that's the fourth. Accept. Putting yourself in others' canisters. Di ba shoes yan? Pero syempre since archi tayo, canisters. Canisters ang lifeline ng ating mga plate. Naranasan nyo na ba yon na tulog kayo buong biyahe, nagko-commute kayo, tapos nahulog pala yung kabila ng canister nyo, tapos nahulog din yung plate nyo, na sobrang antok nyo, sabaw nyo, napansin nyo, nakababa na kayo ng jeep, naiwan nyo yung plate nyo sa jeep. Diba? Sakit. So, buti na lang yung mga first years and second years yung mga plate nyo virtual eh. Yung mga fifth years na nanonood or yung mga naranasan yan, yung ang daming yung magdadala ka ng plate sa jeep, yung kalaki-laki, 20 by 30, naka-plastic pa. Tapos, excuse me po, ganyan. 'Di ba? So, the fourth, yung fourth na gusto ko ituro being a leader is always accept. To apply that, parehas kami ng nagawa actually ni Coach Lot. So, learning to accept mistakes as challenges, turning weaknesses into strengths. Ito yung important dito. We need to accept mistakes or failure not as a punishment or not as parang karma for what you did wrong. Mistakes serve as challenges. And how do you turn weakness into strengths? sundin nyo yung sinabi ni Coach Lot kanina. Una, acknowledge that you have the weakness. In certain examples nung architect ako, meron talaga akong part na pinag-design ako ng pump room, yung parang may mga room siya na andun lahat ng pump equipment ng swimming pool. Tapos nakaligtaan ko siya, and at the same time, hindi ko din alam kung paano siya simulan. So parang hindi ko in-accept na may weakness ako dun sa bagay na yun. I thought na I could suffice just designing a room with my current knowledge. Pero at the end, pinarevise kasi mali. So, tip sa akin ng architect ko, you need to acknowledge the weakness na meron ka. And accepting na may mga times talaga na nagkukulang ka sa mga bagay, sa ibang bagay. After that, you accept. You accept that you did your mistake, you say you're sorry, you apologize. Third, act. You act, you ask for help. Ito pa yung isang lagi kong sabi ni Coach Lot. I love referring to Coach Lot na kasi nakuha na niya, he took the words out of my mouth. It's very wonderful. Act, ask for help. You have a mentor with you. As an architect, you have your architect. Kung leader ka, kung student leader ka, you have each other, you have your colleagues. Ask for help. Pag may hindi ka kaya na gawin, at certain points sa yung plate, like, hindi ko alam kung paano mag-design concept ng maayos, ask for help. And in return then, wag magdamot for knowledge. Offer help. So, ask for help dun sa mga may alam, offer help to those na nangangailangan. Nakakatuwa kasi sa block namin, sa block ko noon, 2018, batch 2018, block 2 ako, so shout out 2013, block 2, shout out kung may nanonood man. Kahit ang dami naming ups and downs, yung isa naming way para makapasa kami lahat, kasi ang daming umaalis talaga sa iba't ibang blocks ng mga prior I mean, not to say na yung mga umaalis ay hindi nakapasa sa standards ng Archi. Talagang umaalis sila dahil nahihirapan sila, nag-shift sila, or may problem sila. Pero kami, we managed to survive yung original na block namin. May mga ibang nawala nung first year, pero since second year, parang onti lang yung umalis. One lang yung umalis due to personal problems. Kasi we managed to secure yung parang hindi pagiging madamot sa knowledge. So I want everyone to appreciate yung mga ka-block nyo na, alam mo yun, sa group nyo nagpo-post ng ito yung handout sa ganito, nakita ko, may reference ako. Kasi yung mga ganong kasing bagay, super laking tulong nun in order para lahat kayo makagraduate ng sabay-sabay. And I'll tell you, nung graduate kami ng sabay-sabay, it's very, very relieving. It's very, very fulfilling, very heartwarming. So to all the fourth years and fifth years na nanonood, alam kong stress na kayo. Mga OJT ng fourth years, wala pa yatang fourth years. Wala pa lang fourth years. So fifth years, sa mga fifth year na nanonood, kaya nyo yan. Huwag kayong magdamot sa isa't isa. Maghilaan kayo pataas, okay? And as an effective leader, makakatulong sa inyo yan pag naghihilaan kayo ng pataas. Instead of pushing each other down as competition. Believe me. And second, sa accept is practice empathy, okay? So, empathy is actually, for me, the most important part of being a leader. I really value the empathy that I always make it a point na I understand where the people I lead or the people I serve come from. I want to understand them, their perspectives. So I listen. Whenever we are faced in a critical situation, um, and I have to decide, I influence them in such a way na ito yung mga kailangan gawin, these are the pros and the cons. I do the research for them. Pero I still listen to them. That's the important thing. Listen to your colleagues. I listen to their sentiments. Kumbaga, ikaw, kung gagawin mo ba tong part na to, may mahihirapan ba sa ating dalawa? Will this cost, uh, will this cost the career of one over the other? If yes, unahin mo yung kulig mo before anything else. Unahin mo yung sanity nyo and yung, tawag dito, relationship nyo as a family, 'di ba? Uh, other than anything. Yes, there are going to be situations where you just need to decide black or white, pero always find the silver lining in the gray area. As much as possible, always practice empathy. And that, I think, is the most effective way of being a leader. Kasi if you're an empathetic leader, people will follow you more. People will support you more. Kasi you have their back and they have you back and they trust you. Ayun. So, that's it. Pag architect ka, you need to gain the trust of your clients. So, kapag nasa site ka, ang dami mo makakausap all around the world, charot, all around your company pala, I'm sorry. All around the company, may makakausap kang client, lalo na kung matara yung client mo, nakatakot. Tapos may makakausap kang architect mo, medyo critical sa lahat ng ginagawa mo, may mga colleagues ka. And nung site architect ako, I had to lead yung mga construction workers, which na-value ko talaga yung pagiging architect ko. Doon ako, parang nakuha ko yung calling ko on being a site architect na parang, ito yung gusto kong gawin. Gusto kong maki-immerse sa mga taong nasa laylayan kasi sila yung gumagawa ng project nyo and sila yung important na kailangan yung asikasuhin and kailangan yung pakinggan yung mga hinanaing nila. Walang project kung walang contractor, walang project kung wala yung mga construction workers. So if you practice empathy enough, or if you apply yung pagiging sympathetic nyo sa mga bagay-bagay, you can actually see a perspective that you have never seen before, and it will cause you to grow as a person. May mga times na nung site architect ako, hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit sila naglalasing lagi. Di ba? Pansin niyo yun? Parang stereotype, parang umiinom sila lagi. Naninigarilyo sila lagi. Parang yung yung habits nila, hindi naman lahat pero yung karamihan, may mga habits talaga na gano'n, parang naghihintay lang sila ng payday, tapos biglang ganyan. At first, I didn't understand that, and nung nag-site architect ako, minsan inaaya nila ako, sir, tara, inom tayo, ganyan. Okay, I don't condone, illegal, sa legal age dapat bago uminom. So, ayun, parang, inuman tayo, ganyan. Parang, okay. Tapos nakikwentuhan sila, tapos parang, ba't, tinatanong ko sila minsan, parang, ano ba meron sa sigarilyo? Ganyan, ano ba meron sa alak? Wala, kasi kapag alak po, nakakatanggal ng stress. Kapag sigarilyo, nakakasuppress ng appetite. Alam nyo ba yon na ang nicotine suppresses appetite? So, in order for them, or for people, or smokers, to, um, in order for smokers to, uh, nawala ako. Yung, in order for smokers to wag siyang gumastos ng malala for food, they use nicotine or they use cigarettes as appetite suppressor. So, doon ko na parang, shucks, yun pala yung perspective nila. So, hindi ko dapat sila gina-judge as mga ganun. So, parang, that's just an example Parang, I learned to open myself sa perspective ng iba instead of judging others. And I think that's what makes a quality leader. Kapag na-appreciate mo or naiintindihan mo na iba yung taong nasa harap mo from you. And yes, iba siya, pero at some extent, pares kayong tao. You're still human. You can work things out. Ayun. So, 'di ba? Nagdrama na ako dito. So, medyo bibilisan ko na lang. Last is, my gosh. Ayun. Yung next is na yung no prominent figure is without fault, just as no figure is without admirable qualities. Actually, nakita ko lang to sa Facebook, natawa ako. No prominent figure is without fault, just as no figure is without admirable qualities. Tatandaan nyo yan lagi na kapag as a leader, lalo na yung mga student council officers dyan, pag may mga times na nahihirapan na kayo or parang nagda-doubt kayo sa sarili nyo na, tama pa ba yung ginagawa ko for my community, for KAUP? Lahat kayo merong fault. Just as lahat kayo may admirable qualities. You're not perfect. Magkakaroon kayo ng mistakes. What's important is you're accountable to it. And meron kayong admirable qualities. Be proud of your qualities. Be confident with your qualities. Okay? So, yun yung sa accept. Well, lastly, ascertain. Ito yung last. Molding clay to pottery. Anong ibig sabihin dito? Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng ascertain? Ascertain is actually um, discover, to find out, to make something certain. When you ascertain something, parang gusto mo siyang gawing concrete. Gusto mo siyang gawing final, certain. So I think the best way to be an effective leader is to train people. If you know Kuya Adrian Reyes, uh, sobrang naging role model ko siya. Naging YAP sa president siya, naging YAP the president siya. If you know him, I think professor na siya ngayon. He is a licensed architect, proud of Kuya Adrian. He told me na lahat ng mga pinagdadaanan mo as a leader, wala yan if you don't share and if you don't train for the future generations. Power is something complex. It's simple and complex at times na power is something na absolute, pero at the same time nakakatakot na magkaroon ng power minsan kasi it corrupts the mind. That's why it's important that we train future generations to we train future generations to uphold kung ano man yung meron tayo. Gaya ng sabi ni John Quincy Adams, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. So, ito yung pinaka main talking point ko na nagsosolidify na hindi mo kailangan ng posisyon para maging leader. You don't need to be president of something. You can be the president. You can be a mere student. You can be a deputy officer. You can be anything. Basta kung yung actions mo inspire others to dream more, if you share your knowledge and cause other people to learn more, to gain more wisdom, to do more, and to become more, you are already a leader. And I could tell you na kapag architect ka, kadalasan lahat ng architects um, follow this calling. Ang dami kong architect na nakikita na gusto nila mag-prof, gusto nila mag-professor. Parang, I want to teach, I want to share my knowledge. Uh, Parang sideline lang nila yung mga tawag dito, mga freelance projects nila. I would like to take this moment to say thank you sa mga uh, mentors ko noon and sa mga teachers ko like sila Architect Pineda, Architect Campaner, Architect Nudas, Ma'am Rabe. Yung mga teacher ko na yan, parang nakakatuwa kasi they are doing the work of God. They are doing the unspeakable part of training more people to become more leaders in the future. And I think that's the beauty of leadership eh. Kasi for my last slide, leadership is not a position, leadership is not power, or it's not something na uh, a certain degree of people hold. Like, hindi ibig sabihin na kapag wala kang posisyon, hindi ka leader. Because leadership is a mindset. And I want everyone na ito sana yung tumatak sa isip natin before I end my my vlog, my TED Talk, before I end this seminar, na leadership is a mindset. Um, ang dami nating pinagdadaanan ngayon nitong social distancing, the pandemic, and all, to the point na minsan nawawala na tayo ng pag-asa to um, tawag dito, to move forward, di ba? Also, I was a victim of that, anxiety. I was feeling depressive moods nitong quarantine. Pero one thing that made me uh, more happy, aside from, syempre, nag-ano din ako, papaaraw-araw din ako. I try to eat healthier. I try to channel my emotions on uh, watching series, watching movies. I talk to my friends more often. I draw. I do more projects. Aside from that, parang I find solace and refuge on being the president of the APGA Makati CBD chapter. Parang may napagkakaabalahan ako. At some point, being a leader, kahit nasa bahay ako, I could still impact other people's lives kahit andito ako. And right now, as I am talking to you, I am thankful na you still held until the last moments of the seminar to listen to my talk kasi I appreciate na may mga tao talagang willing pa din matuto and willing maging leader. 'Di ba? So, let us be reminded na, I mean, search couple reminders lang ulit. Delete natin yung 5. Um, Una, to absorb, and then to allocate, and then to adapt, to accept, and to ascertain. Yung 5 yun, it will be helpful for you to finally realize na kung meron ka pang mga hinanaing na, ay, gusto kong pumasok sa ka-op SE, ganyan, or sa'yo APSA, the next term, baka, this is the sign for you na magkaroon ka na ng position to serve others, magkaroon ka ng mas madaming galamay to reach more people, 'di ba? So, this might contradict to what I'm saying na you need position, you don't need a position to be a leader. Pero hindi ko naman sinasabing hindi talaga kailangan ng position. Having a position is a privilege kasi eh. It's a privilege that not everyone has. Kapag nando ka sa position na yon, it's your sole duty and responsibility to serve with the people. So, kung ano yung ginagawa sa inyo ng ka-op SC, I hope you appreciate na they're doing this for everyone. They are doing this not for themselves. They're doing this not for others. I mean, not for themselves, but they're doing this for the welfare and the goodwill of others. So, ayun, as long as you inspire, as long as you inspire more people to do things, swak yan. 100%. You can be a leader and everyone is a leader. Ayun. So, this ends my talk. Sorry kung nakuha ko ba ibang time. So, thank you. Kung may questions kayo, you can email me at ayan, 𝐌𝐞𝐧𝐭9@gmail.com. Kung kailangan nyo ng kausap, actually, nakakatuwa. Gusto ko ng kausap. Bastos no? Wala palang kausap. So, kung kailangan nyo ng kausap na about certain topics na bothering you on your leadership, na parang, kuya, gusto ko ituloy yung ganito, pero feeling ko hindi kakayanin ng time ko, ng commitment ko, if you want general advice on things, or if you just want general advice on being sa professional world, like I'm not a licensed architect, but I have ano naman, I can help you naman with certain topics like professional practice, may tanong kayo sa mga ganon. May tanong kayo sa structural analysis, mga math. Don't hesitate, tanong niyo sa akin. Kung mga officers kayo and gusto niyo manghingi ng outlines on kung paano mga house rules, guidelines, kung paano mag-conduct ng effective na meeting, kung paano mag-plan ng event from pre-production to post-production hanggang post-assessment, kung paano gumawa ng letters. Also, I can also teach you kung paano gumamit ng SketchUp, softwares, AutoCAD, Photoshop. Just, okay lang. I-DM nyo ako sa Facebook page ko or just email me. I'll happily answer you. So, I'm sorry if I couldn't see the comments in real time. So, I think may question and answer portion naman. So, kung may questions kayo, just feel free. Ayun, yun lang. Thank you.
Yan, thank you so much po again, Sir Brian, for that informative and fruitful discussion.
Yes. Ay, sorry.
Andre.
Ay, nakamute. Ayan.
Ayan. So, for now, I think we can entertain questions from the audience para naman masagot ni Sir Brian.
Okay.
Yes. Ito po muna pala, sir, nung tinanong niyo po kanina sa audience natin kung ano yung mas inuuna nilang plates, yung major ba or yung minor, ito po, ilang sentiments from Natalia Dauz. Kung ano po ang unang ipapasa, ayun ang unang gagawin. Para naman po kay Lauren Gonzalez, kung ano po yung pinakamahirap, yun yung unang gagawin. As well kay John Doe, kung ano po yung pinakamahirap, yun ang una. Para easy, kalmado na sa next. Ayan.
Tama naman. Pero kadalasan ng ginagawa ko
Ikaw,
kapag nag-major plate,
Ayan,
Okay.
may nakita ko kanina eh. Parang, di ba po sabi nyo, wag mag-procrastinate, ganyan,
Yes.
or wag i-try mag-multitask. Pero may nakita po akong comment, sabi niya, nanonood siya sa webinar natin habang gumagawa ng plate sa HOA. Tinatanong niya po, ano daw ba ang uunahin niya, makinig sa webinar o unahin ang plate niya sa HOA?
Well,
Ayan.
it's up to you. I think it speaks in itself na nanonood ka, you want to learn. I think you want to value learning. Pero I don't think so naman na ano. Kung at least kung hindi naman siya super nakaka-distract like actually ito tip nga to eh. Habang nagpe-plate ako, kung minor lang naman na drafting, like kunwari nagte-trace lang ako or naggagawa akong furniture, I listen to podcasts actually. It's very helpful kasi parang may kausap ka, kumbaga hindi nakakabaliw yung silence. May kausap ka parang, uy, may then realize ko na lang as time goes by, nas parang third episode na ako ng podcast. So, I mean, these types, kahit pakinggan mo lang naman ako, okay lang naman. Pero kung nandun ka sa planning stage, click this video off na. Unahin mo muna yan. You can replay it. You can rewatch it. That's why, ito yung good ngayon sa, natin, sa platform na binigay sa atin ni Ka-OP-SC na pwede natin i-rewatch. So, kung major yan, unahin mo yan. Pero kung mga minor details lang, you can do podcast, listen to music, just not anything distracting,
Okay.
super distracting.
Ito. So, may questions po tayo mula sa ating live viewers. First po
Okay.
is kay John Doe. Ano po yung ma-advise ninyo sa mga future leaders here in KAU? Siguro yung mga hindi pa sila SC and nagbabalak na maging SC officer.
Okay. So, ang advice ko lang is kapag mayroong naghikayat sa inyo, take that as a door of opportunity. Kumbaga, yun nga sabi nila, kasalanan ng hindi sumubok. Mas kasalanan yung hindi ka sumubok kaysa yung sinubukan mo tas hindi mo nagustuhan. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, nahatak lang ako, tagagupit lang ako ng tela, like literally, tas nagbibili lang ako ng tubig sa canteen, ganyan. Tapos na-enjoy ko siya. Tapos hanggang unti-unti, I got the hang of it. Minsan, pinapagawa na ako ng letters until I organized my first ever event. I was so nervous. And then I organized my first Ka-OP SC Day, ganyan. So, siguro, one advice for future leaders is just try. Just immerse yourself. My life motto actually is follow your fear. It's from a fellow YouTuber. Follow your fear. And when you follow your fear kasi, mas makikita mo yung possibilities, the unknowns, the variables outside na you never thought na, ay, nandun pala. And then you can explore kung gusto mo ba yun or hindi. It opens you to a lot more things than just the confines of your Facebook page or your Instagram page or kung nagti-TikTok ka lang buong araw. It's a perfect opportunity. You try, 'di ba? You can ngayon, I think tapos na yung Ka-OP-SC, 'di ba, yung applications. Pero if I think ako kung ako yung president or ako yung officer, kung may naaay ako na may potential, sinasama ko siya to ay pwede ka ba mag-deputy for this certain event? Try mo lang, ganyan. So don't be afraid to try new things.
Ayan. So, kay John Doe, see you sa next academic year. Ayan. Yayayain ka na namin na mag-register, mag-apply. Alright. So,
Ayan,
we have,
aantayin nila kayo. Ayan.
this is from JC Mesola po. Is doing my part of being a block president enough? What are ways to improve more in serving my blockmates? Ayan. So,
Ayun.
block president po.
Hi JC. Ayan, so block president. Yes. May mga block presidents ng term namin. Actually, hindi ako naging block president kasi nga sobrang bibo ko. At saka merong ang nangyayari, yung mga block presidents namin is parang casted kasi through voting. So kung sino yung feeling naming gusto, siyempre democratic, ganyan. So sila yung napipiling block presidents. So if you're, I believe na as a block president, you are doing enough. Pero you can always still assess if you could do more. Dun sa question mo na what are ways to improve more in serving my blockmates, I think you just have to communicate more with your blockmates. Kasi ang daming stigma na kapag block president ka, dapat ikaw yung unang nakakaalam ng information, dapat ikaw yung ano, well, it's part of your responsibility as the block president to be the bridge between you and your professors, and the other organizations outside your classroom. Pero you need to communicate with them. Gaya nga nung sabi ko, to communicate with your teammates. Siyempre, hindi lang naman ikaw ang officer, mga secretary mo, yung vice president mo, para at least kapag may mga times na nahihirapan ka na as a block president, you could be you could still be present by having yung mga ano mo, vice president mo, move for you. Which is, okay lang yon. It's still you serving your blockmates. Parang ipinasuyo mo lang sa iba, i-ano mo lang. Ayun. Most people, parang yun nga, ako, doon ako na-anxious eh. Kumbaga, sobrang anxious ako mag-utos. Kaya minsan I end up doing things on my own. Pero yun yung tinuro sa akin ni Kuya Adrian Reyes, no, na parang walang masama mag-utos kasi they need to be trained as well. Kumbaga, that's your purpose as the leader. So, delegate the tasks. Yun lang. I think that's, you're doing your part as a black president. Enough na yun. To improve more, I don't think you can improve more as a black president. More so, you can discover more career paths. Pwede kang apply ka sa KAUP-SC, ganyan, or sa other organizations sa PLM, and you can improve more on being a leader.
Ayan, so JC, sana nakakuha ka ng tips kay Sir Brian.
Kaya mo
Next po,
yan.
we have another question. This is from EJ Punsalan. Any advice po sa mga student leaders to continue to serve even after their term or membership in an org?
Oh, okay. So, student leaders to continue to serve even after their term or membership in an org. Okay. Well, perfect example actually is YAPSA. Um, nakakatuwa kasi we all have yung mga channels natin eh, na sa student auxiliary, tas may graduate auxiliary, tas meron sa architects. Kumbaga, ituloy-tuloy nyo lang. Kumbaga, after nyo mag-serve as a student leader for KAUP-SC, find more ways na mag-grow ka pa. Kumbaga, always plan kung ano yung magiging ano mo sa future. Like, for example, fifth year ka na, and then matatapos na yung term mo for ganito. Try ko kaya mag-apply sa APGA kasi ano yun, parang it's a more professional setting, mas madali akong matututunan. So, yun yung advice ko na just continue to serve. Kung saan mang organization man yan, kahit ano mang organization yan, basta nakakapag-share ka o nakakapag-inspire ka, you will grow. You will grow naman.
Ayan. So, another question naman po from Prince Aldwin Jose. Recommended podcast po while doing plates. Since nabanggit nyo nga po kanina na makinig ng podcast.
Bali, ang ginagawa ko, I do three things kapag I want to be distracted but not too distracted. Una, YouTube, music, or sa YouTube, alam nyo, nakaka-relax pala yung mga mukbang. Kung ayaw nyo ng sound ng chewing noise, or ayaw nyo ng mga chewing noises, huwag kayong manood. Pero, mukbangs, minsan may mga story time sa YouTube, ganyan. I recommend yung mga sila Stephanie Su, yung mga mukbangs na gano'n. Doon naman sa podcast, to answer your questions, I almost always listen to comedy podcasts. So, natatandaan ko noon, Not Too Deep with Grace Helbig. Mga siya mga international, like Conan O'Brien podcast. Kung alam niyo yung mga YouTuber na yon, you can also search naman sa Spotify or sa ng mga comedy podcasts. Kasi it's just light. Hindi ko advisable yung makinig ng mga political podcasts kasi nakaka-distract yun. Parang baka ma-furious ka lang. So, yung mga podcast, comedy podcast, Grace Helbig, Not Too Deep, tawag dito, daming YouTubers na may podcast na comedy. Just on the top of my head, yun. Conan O'Brien, comedy podcasts, yun. Yun lang. Nakatuwa naman. Or Spotify. Yun.
Meron din pong another question. This is from Lauren Gonzalez. May tips po ba kayo pag naubusan ka na ng ideas for your plates?
Yes. Actually, meron akong tips. Kapag naubusan ka na ng ideas for plates, open your Pinterest. Don't underestimate the power of inspiration on other on social media. On kahit di Pinterest, Google, mag-research ka. Kasi as architects, ano tayo eh, we need to develop that architects are readers. So, mahilig tayo magbasa dapat. Research. So, minsan kapag nawawalan na ako, ay hindi ko alam yung color palette dito. Titingin na ako sa Pinterest. Tapos, uy, na-inspire na ako unti-unti. Tapos parang mag-churn na ulit yung creative mm, tawag dito, gears ko sa utak ko. Another way is minsan I take a breather kasi mostly kapag wala na ako naisip, it's due to the overwhelming amount of anxiety that I feel na parang malapit na yung deadline, ganyan. So I advise na yun, breathing exercise. I meditate actually kapag hindi ko na kaya yung pressure. Nag-meditate talaga ako. I follow yung breathing patterns, ganyan. And then, I talk to my friends. I talk to my friends na parang, uy, kamusta na kayo sa plate na to? Uy, ganyan. So parang just heads up lang na hindi ka nag-iisa na, baka sila nauubusan nila ano. So tara, brainstorming tayo. Ano pang pwedeng gawin sa ganito? So ayun. Yun lang. Open yourself to inspiration. That is my advice. Open yourself. Like, there are many avenues sa internet. Wag lang distractions. Wag lang video games. Wag lang ano. That's not an inspiration. That's a distraction. Okay?
Ayan, sana nasagot ang question mo, Lauren. Next po, I think this is the second to the last. Yeah, second to the last question from Ronel Repil. When do you think po dapat mag-start to train oneself to be a leader?
Okay. It may sound cliche, pero for me, you need to start as early as possible, as now. As early as now. Kasi parang leadership is more like an investment in like insurance or stocks. Well, hindi ako financial advisor Pero I see it more as an investment kasi in the future. The earlier you start, the more connections you gain. The earlier you start, the more knowledge on the work on the work environment you gain. Um, I think yun yung masasabi kong thing na naituro sa akin ng pagiging constantly naging officer sa positions ko. Dahil alam ko na kung yung galaw, yung takbo kapag, I mean, hindi na ako nangangapa kapag kailangan natin mag-ano ng ganitong event. So where do I start? I start with planning, I start with the letters, I start with sponsorships, and then so on and so forth hanggang dulo. So yun yung naituro sa akin. So as early as now, if ever man may mga, I encourage everyone na nanonood, kung hindi kayo officer, kapag may mga events, si Ka-op SC, the least you can do is interact with your officers. Kasi from there, you can already involve yourself dun sa process kung paano sila gumagawa ng events. It's not that hard. You can start now, find a mentor, find someone or your friend na may connection sa Ka-op SC, or not just Ka-op SC, any organization that you would like, and then start from there.
All right. Thank you, Ronel, for that question. Another question naman po from Carl Michael Padilla. Tips po pag nararamdaman mong di na ganon ka-interesado yung groupmates mo sa project.
Ouch! Anong project ba yan? Anong project kaya yan? Midterm plates? Nako. Sa akin naman, siguro, yun nga, ako kasi I was a born mediator talaga eh. Kumbaga, I hate conflict. I despise conflict. So whenever I have the chance to para pag-ayusin kung ano man yung meron, pinag-aayos ko talaga kahit kasi it eats me up slowly eh. Kadalasan kapag may ganyan yung di interesado, kung ang pinag-ugatan niyan is personal conflict, siguro just confront your group mates, um, confront them, give them a pep talk or inspirational talk na bumalik kayo kung bakit pa kayo nag-architecture in the first place. Kasi dun lang din naman nagbo-boil yun. Yung parang babalik ka kung saan ka nagsimula. Parang ba't ko nga ba pinasok to? And then share mo sa kanila like kasi if architecture really means so much to you, you would really do things na that would help you excel sa pagiging architect eh. So, kung hindi ka interesado, like, schedule a talk with them, like, uy guys, kamusta na? Ito. And then, minsan, what I do is ni-recap ko. Like, for example, sige, ano na ba yung mga hindi pa natin nagagawa? Sige, simulan natin dito, tutulungan kita, andito lang ako. Ganun ako parang teammate talaga kapag sa plates. Well, my thesis mates would beg to differ kasi thesis mates ko, nanonood man kayo, yon talagang may time na super na busy ako. So, parang sila yung umiintindi sa akin. So, parang yun nga, talagang intindihan siya. It's a issue of compromise and communication.
Alright, ayan. So, Carl Michael, sana nasagot ang ating query. Last naman na po ito from Frankie Alvior. Tips po para hindi mag-time consume sa paggawa ng plates.
Ayun. Yun nga, yung tips ko, balik tayo dun sa yung sa second part ng 5A's ko, which is yung allocate. The best thing talaga to do para hindi time consuming siya is to schedule it. To schedule kung ano yung pinagagagawa mo, it would help kung aalamin mo lahat ng aspects ng project. Gaya nga for example, pinagawa kita ng bangko as an esquisse. So, alamin mo yung design problem, alamin mo yung lote, and then, unti-unti, like, alamin mo yung how to plan it, and then ilista mo lahat ng design requirements, yung mga, tawag dito, architectural programming, site analysis, user analysis, up until design concept, plans, perspectives, and then set a time. Set a time kung kailan mo sila gagawin and stick with that time. So, hindi ko sure kung yun ba yung minimean mo ng time consuming. Another interpretation I have for time consuming is baka parang medyo lost ka in yourself when kapag gumagawa ka, parang natatagalan ka talagang maglinya or natatagalan ka magsulat. I suggest wag kang ma-anxious kung medyo as long as you manage your time well, there's no point in being anxious kung yung ginagawa mo ba is your best. Kasi when you schedule your time well, you're doing your best. So for example, talagang ganun na lang yung pace mo eh. Mabagal ka talaga mag-drafting, mabagal ka talaga magsulat. It's all right. It's fine. Go on your own pace. Yun yung important. You should go on your own pace. So, kunwari, talagang time-consuming lang talaga siya na hindi mo maipaliwanag na paraan. Like, basta as long as hindi ka distracted, alam mong focus ka naman, pero talagang time-consuming lang talaga siya. Yun ay, wala tayong magagawa. It's the nature of the project. Talagang, for example, nagde-design ka ng major plate, it's going to be time-consuming. So, the better way to deal with that is to schedule para at least you could plan on how fast you should do something, kung ano ba yung mga important na kailangan mo unahin before focusing on the less important, and so on. I hope I answered.
Ayan. Alright, I think we've accommodated all of their queries na po. Thank you again, Mr. Laquinta, for sharing with us your knowledge na talaga namang babaunin ng ating mga student leaders sa kanilang life ventures. Alright, at this juncture, I would like to virtually give you this token of appreciation for being with us virtually today. Okay, I will read the citation for you, sir. Certificate of Appreciation. This Certificate of Appreciation is hereby presented to Sir Brian Quinta for imparting their knowledge and insights as a guest speaker for Arkitekturo, an online lecture series held this 8th day of November 2020 as a part of the Project SAP via YouTube live stream. Together, let's take a step forward. Signed by Grisel Claire C. Repulanen, Event Head and Student Council Vice President, Trisha Danica L. Balizar, our Student Council President, and Ezekiel Joshua A. Poncelan, our Project Head for TAP, the Youth and YouTube Council, Student Council Auditor. Thank you so much po, Sir
Ayun,
Brian.
thank you. I love the font sa certificate. I guess it's Nova or Lemon Milk. Regardless, favorite font ko yan. Lagi kong gamit dun sa mga PubMac. So, ayun, wala, napansin ka lang. Thank you.
Once again, thank you
Also,
very
sir,
much.
may ipapadeliver. Kasama rin po sa token of appreciation ng ating chocolate truffles and may isa pa pong dessert which
Okay,
is, ayan,
no
choco
problem.
truffles and Oreo graham de leche po. Ipapadeliver na lang po natin sa inyo po.
Sure. Thank you very much, Kaupesi, for
Thank you
inviting
po.
me. Congrats sa event.
Thank you so much. So again, once again, thank you for our speakers for today, Coach Lot Lumawig and Mr. Brian Laquinta, for sharing their precious time and wisdom with us in this second episode of Arkitekturo. So, ayan na, nakita natin, no, or narinig natin, we learned today that it's okay to pause, it's okay to breathe, na kayang pagsabayin yung pagpapahinga and pagtatapos ng plates natin. So, as long as we know how to manage our time very well. So, ayun, eto na nga ang isa sa mga highlights talaga ng ating webinar today. So, as you can remember kanina, nagpa-Arkitegram story kami and yung 5-syllable phrase of encouragement. So, dahil
Ayan.
nandito tayo sa dulo ng ating webinar, no, ipapakita na natin. So, we will read some of their entries.
Ayan, abangan natin kung nakita yung entries ninyo.
From Yvonne Ivor at SoftySB. 5-syllable encouragement. One plate at a time.
Ayan. Tama yan. Wag mag-multitask. Isa-isa lang. Ito naman is from at Arna Dross. Yan. Yung may profile picture ni Dayun. Arki na kaya. Ayan. Hashtag Arkitekturo F. Totoo yan. Kaya natin to mga artistas.
Another from Yvonne Ivor. Wow, ang active naman.
Active.
Sobrang active. So, 5-syllable encouragement, additional points. Ayan. So, shout out sa mga profs natin kung magbibigay talaga ng additional points.
Naka-encourage talaga yung 5 additional points na yun. Parang mas gagalingan mo pang gumawa. Di ba? Ito naman is from at KT Marinel. You are not alone. Ayan. Sama-sama tayo dito magtutulungan sa ating program.
Ito naman from our FB page post. So, from Yvonne Banyago, ayun nga, one plate at a time. From Ronel Rapil, I'll be there for you. Ay, parang kanta ata.
Ang ganda naman nun.
From Ashley Arzaga, 5-syllable encouragement to self. Sus, Ashley pa ba? Ay, oh.
Wow, galing.
Ito, ang active din. Sunod-sunod ang kanyang entry. From Prince Aldrin Jose, I'm here to listen. Give it a shot, B. Hang in there, my friend. Napaka-versatile mga entries, ha? And of course, ito naman yung sa ating IG stories. So, yung mga Arkitegram stories. So, meron tayo from K. Marinel B. From Portraits by JM. Oh,
Ganda, ang bongga.
Diba?
Ang palaban.
Next, ayan, sige, go Anjali.
Ito naman is from It's Me Prince and medyo malabo pero kay Kuya EJ Punsalan ata to. Ayan o, diba sobrang creative. Very palaban.
Next is from Arkitekturo. Ayan, nakalagay focus. And from Annie Roz. Ayan. Kita ko pinaglaanan talaga ng oras. Ayan, so for the 2 winners of the 5-syllable phrase of encouragement,
Ready na ba kayo?
Ready na ba? Okay, go. Our first winner from Kyle Justin. Tulog o 5? Ay, kung hindi ka ba naman
Grabe.
nga ma-encourage dyan, di ba?
Tulog o 5. Pinapili ka kung tulog o 5. Naka-encourage nga.
Pero syempre,
Congratulations, Kyle Justin.
di ba, don't forget to take a rest pa din. So, ayun nga, kagaya ng sabi ni Coach Lot kanina, di ba? Pause and breathe. And syempre, yung sandali ang pause na yan, it will give you a boost to finish all your unfinished plates.
Ayan, so kay Kyle Justin, huwag mo naman pilitin ang sarili mo na huwag matulog, okay? Pero congrats sa'yo.
Congrats. Next. Ayan, from @Arnadros from Arkitekturo. Kinakaya yung entry niya kanina. Ayun, kinakaya.
Yeah.
Siyempre, kakayanin talaga natin yan. Artistas pa ba?
Next, for our 3 winners na Arkitegram story. Yan. Ready na ba kayo? Ito yung pinaka-inaabangan kasi creative talaga. Nakita natin, no, Ate Andre, ang gaganda ng mga entries ng artistas natin. Alright, so let's see kung sino ang tatlong napili para sa ating Arkitegram story. Ayan, first is, wow, ang ganda! At Portraits by JM. Yan, congratulations! Ang ganda
Balita
naman.
ko, nag-photoshop pa daw yan para dyan sa IG story na yan eh.
Wow, talaga ba? Ganda.
Ganon sila ka-effort.
Ganda,
So, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next.
Next is at Annie Ross. Ayan, napiplay siya. Ayan, very cute. Wow, ayan. Parang, yan. May pa-filter
Parang
pa.
nagpiplay na ata siya.
Oo nga.
Ang nanonood ng ating webinar. So,
Congratulations at Annie Ross. Later, anong sa atin kung paano natin ma-claim ang kanilang mga prize. Next, last winner natin. Let's see. Ayan, si at Sophilophobic.
Ayan. So, let's play.
Cute.
Ayun. Parang sinunod niya na talaga yung sinabi ni Coach Lot kanina na mga tips to effectively study. Ayan.
In-apply niya na agad-agad.
Congratulations.
Ang ganda ng workspace niya. Congratulations. Ayan, once again, congratulations to our winners. Kindly message our FB page to claim your prizes. And to our viewers, we hope you have picked up a thing or two from today's webinar. Thank you so much for attending today. Please look forward to more of this in the next few months. And to be updated for our future seminars like this, kindly like our Facebook page, PLM CAUP Student Council, and please do support our donation drive called Tulong Estudyante. Check our official Facebook page for more information. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CAUP-SC Official. And of course, support our One View, One Step Forward campaign by subscribing and watching our videos here on YouTube. Thank you so much, everyone. I am Angeli Pastrano.
And I am Angie Mercado, your host for Arkitekturo. Thank you, have a good day, and stay safe, Artistas.
Thank you.